Welcome. I'm the Two-Tone Bandit, and this is a podcast for Tennessee Titans fans by a Tennessee Titan fan. I want you to pull up and represent that two-tone blue the way that you want to. This is a community that I'm building for us to have a voice so that we can be heard just like everyone else. I think your voice matters. You're a fan. You're important, and that's what this is about. Look, today's episode, we're going to be talking about the speculation around Jeremiah Love, what we should do with the 4th overall pick. We're going to look at the draft. We're going to look at the free agency. We're going to look at what it's going to take for us to feel good about our team moving forward and the moves that we think that they need to make, and maybe question some of the moves that were already made. What I want you to do right now is I want you to go ahead and lock in, subscribe, tighten the hell up, and let's get straight to it. All right, jumping straight into it, man. As y'all can see, we got a packed house looking like a can of sardines in here, but we feeling good. We sure don't smell like them, I can tell you that much. Look, it's a good day. We here to talk about our Titans, and the first thing we want to talk about is the new energy, the new feeling. What we hear, the new uniforms, man. The fan hype, because I know we hype. The impact here. Sure, we got a lot more work to do. We got a lot more question marks, but nonetheless, we really trying to represent our team the way that we really want them to be represented. I think that the new uniforms are bigger than just the style conversation because they tap directly into the fans' emotion, the franchise's identity, and the feeling that Tennessee is trying to launch a brand new chapter. The Titans officially unveiled the new uniforms and logos on March 12, 2026, with Titan blue as the primary home look and white as the primary road look. While team coverage and fan mailbag reactions have made it clear that nostalgia, excitement, and strong opinions are all a part of the response, that matters because uniforms alone do not just win games, as we know, okay? But they absolutely can help energize a fan base, sharpen the team's image, and create a sense that something is different happening now. So this franchise, the hype around these uniforms, I think it connects us to a larger idea that this is a reset of identity. Fans want something that they can actually rally around. They want the organization that they can be proud of. They want to be better than everything that we've been going through in the past. So it really doesn't break down to the look itself alone, more so than the connection of the look, the roster, the free agents, the potential of the draft, having great cap, just meeting new people, new organization. And that's something that we really are excited about, and we're going to get down into the conversation now. So with that being said, I'm going to start off with Titans Van. I'm going to work it down to RJ, Titanius, New Look, CJ, Real Ice, and we're going to go clockwork like that. Well, that's more like a snake, but y'all get that.
Yeah.
We got it. So look, first question. Do the new uniforms actually make you all feel like that this is a brand new era, or do you think that this is just a cosmetic change until we start winning some games?
Man, I feel like well, first off, I kind of feel like I'm playing Hollywood Squares now, like we're circle gets the square and somebody's going to pick him and I'm going to be screwed. No, but I feel like it signals a new era. I mean, obviously it's a cosmetic change, but I don't think it's as shallow as that. We just came out of a pretty quick turnaround on a rebrand from the uniforms that you're wearing, that we just got out of, the Navies. And, we had some success in those. We had some awesome, great players that played in those and some great memories, but we also had a lot of tough times and a lot of really bad memories here over the more recent years, So I think that it absolutely signals a new era and a new opportunity for everybody in the fan base, no matter where you live, right? Because, we all live around the globe. Some people are obviously local to the city. I'm about an hour and a half away, but it signals to all of us that, we're a part of this. This is a new era, not only a youth movement on a roster with probably the youngest roster, I think, in the NFL right now. If not, it's top 2, top 3. And it gives everybody a new energy, right? And energy can translate. That's why we talk about in football games, momentum matters. It's similar with a fan base. Energy matters. And I think that energy can translate to the field, to the team that's playing on the field, and translate into wins, which is obviously, at the end of the day, the most important thing, man. So I love the new look, and I'll always love the former looks as well. I have a special place in my heart for all of them. But I dig the new look. I love the new energy, and I think it's going to change a lot.
All right. Talk to us, young dog Walker. So, RJ, How you feel about the new unis, man? You think that they signify a new era, or they just trying to put a band-aid on the cosmetic mess up? What you think?
You talking to me, or you said you called somebody else?
No, I'm
You hear
talking to
me?
you. I'm talking to you. Yep.
Okay. No, I was
Yeah.
saying that one thing I liked about it, and I was at the jersey reveal. Man, you could just feel the energy when you was there, man. Like they're really excited. How y'all doing? Hey, I'm doing good. Now, they was really excited about what was going on. Yeah, it's Barkley. Yeah. No, people are really excited about what was going on, man. You could just tell, man. The way Robert Sala was like outside, he was really talking to people, man, and the way that they Cam Ward and when Jeff came out there, I literally looked at my homeboy and I said, man, this is the best uniforms in the league, bro. And you could just feel the party, man. It just felt like Nashville knew how to throw a party. And I feel like they're gonna bring that same energy that we was at with the uniforms. They're gonna bring it to the new stadium, man. And one thing, I looked at President Nihill, the Bert Nihill, whatever. He
Mhm.
he basically had said that the way they was going about the uniforms. He said he looked at the Cowboys, looked at the Pittsburgh Steelers, looked at teams that are just having aesthetic to themselves. That where every time we see their uniforms, we know who they are, and they don't ever change their uniforms. You get what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
what he wanted to do was make the Titans a household name, and that's what they're going about it with this uniform change in this new era of Titan football, man. That's why I said they moving differently. What I told y'all on stage, they're moving differently than what they usually do. They want to get a Super Bowl ring, they want to get a Lombardi, so they can always be known as the Tennessee Titans.
I like that. It's all right. Titanius, get with us, big.
I hate it. No, I'm just kidding. You can't tell. Look what I'm rocking. I mean, it's a new look. It's a new feel. For me personally, I'm just like, finally, I got something I can rock that's stylish because I rock the other ones out of love. Now it's like a merger of the both. You know, and so for me, I love the energy that it's bringing. I love the way that it energizes the fan base. I know a lot of you may be a part of this already, but on Twitter, we got a big follow train going right after the jersey reveal because of the energy that just kept flowing. And now we're headed to the draft. I think that this is a great move. It's not just the band aid on the bullet wound. No, this is a whole new era that's opening up. And over the past couple of years, Miss Amy Adams been getting a lot of flack about some of the moves she make. I think we got things moving in the right direction, and the rebrand and the reset is exactly what we needed at this moment in time.
That new look. Yeah, new look.
Yeah.
You the person to answer this question. New look. Talk about that.
I mean, one of my favorite things about the uniform in general is like we essentially really leaned into this like retro look. I mean, if you think about our past, like our last most recent uniforms, they really just looked like it was like panelist era. We had the shoulders. Nobody else in the league has the shoulder that look. And no offense, it's kind of because it doesn't totally work. It doesn't pop on the field. And like every other team in the league, we were navy blue. We didn't lean at all into our light blue, which is pretty much considered to be one of the best color schemes in the entire league.
Yeah.
And now we're leaning into this light blue and white, and we've got the red trim. I think a lot of us would love a slight tiny bit more red, but as they stand now, these uniforms, they're going to stand out against every team that we play.
Mm,
It's not going to look like, oh, that's the generic football uniform. Like we're going to be able to be recognized as the Titans, and I think that they've, as we were saying earlier, like I think that there is the feeling that this is a new approach to how we've been running the organization, and I think that's kind of what Amy's been looking at and Nihil's been looking at is how do these bigger organizations that have lasted for a very long time and people know them as foundation pieces of the NFL, how do they run? And I think that that's what they're trying to do.
okay. Well, CJ, so I must not know about you. Show me who you is, man. Talk to me.
So about the uniforms and like the new uniforms, I think people have to remember, it's all a process of getting used to this. I just think that over the last 3 years with the uniform, like our uniform schedule when we play games, it's been kind of just a weird. bit of just something we kept the year prior. We kept like bringing in navy when it felt like we just left baby blue out of the dust, and just this year, which it's basically like just a test run from going from the old logo to the new logo. So just I'm really excited for this new era that we are getting accustomed to, and just just trying to build something.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Real life. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I like all the opinions. Everybody's got something different to offer here. I feel like it is a new era. I think it's a combination of things here. We're getting a new stadium. We got a new coach. We're trying to move on from the last few years that have been really negative. And so yeah, I think we needed a change. So
Yeah.
it was a good time to do this. But I also think that, with that being said, when they decided that they were going to make new uniforms, I think the reason that they went in this direction is because, Amy's dad, Bud Adams, he moved the team from Houston to Tennessee, and I think it's a little bit personal for Amy. I think that she's trying to honor her father a little bit, and
Yeah.
uh, and I also think that there's a little bit of bad blood with Houston, and they're trying to claim our history, and that's not cool. And so I think that this
Mm,
was part of the reason they went with this light blue, going back toward the Oilers kind of that look.
yeah.
I think they're trying to claim that, so that, like, you can change your uniforms and add light blue to it if you want, Houston, but we are the Oilers. And so I think we did that. I think the fans love it. I've got a giant tattoo on my right arm, that's like really detailed with flames. So losing the flames was really, it hurt. And but like my friend told me, don't be like down about your tattoos out of date now, because that just shows how long you've been a fan. And he's right. And so I'm proud of having the flames on my arm and the sword. And I just think that it's nothing against the new logo or anything. I think it's great. It's just sad to lose the old one as well. But I am looking forward to what's to come, because right now there's so much positivity, and everybody's just been so good on Twitter, like, well, X. But he's talking about the follow train. I mean, it's been real. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So like no, I mean, yeah, it's look, I'll tell you this, and I think I'm gonna have to keep emphasizing this for a little while, but look, it's people never knock the old logos. Think about it. You've never seen anyone ever knock an old logo. People might knock an old jersey, you know, an old player. Like if someone was walking, even though that's my boy, but somebody was walking around, like a Delaney Walker jersey, people like, you got that jersey on? I'm like, what? But no, you gotta think about it. When the Broncos come out with the D with the horse, when the Eagles have the old '60s one to show the full eagle, when the Tampa Bay put on the uniforms, they got the pirate with the like, no one is to so now, it's actually great that we don't have to battle with Houston over what we already had as nostalgia. They can't argue with that one. They can't argue with that. They'll never try to claim this ever. So now it's actually good that we can actually move into a new chapter, but we still have the nostalgia of the old one that we know for sure isn't even up for debate at all. So I'd like you say, yeah, I mean, it actually signifies your status. You like you're a triple OG now, honestly. Like you that guy. Like,
I,
you can't be questioned.
I was gonna say this though. One thing I know that is there's a big Titan fan base in Houston, man.
Yeah.
They're older. That grew up watching Oilers, and they grew up watching, what I'm saying, and followed the team over to Titans, and that's just all it takes is, what I'm saying. So my thing is though, like them people are probably happy because I'm like, man, I'm back to watching my old team again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real. You ain't speaking of that though. Let me add on for that. So do y'all think that the new uniform change will help create a stronger home field feel or advantage or does that just only come with just playing better football? Same rotation, start off tight and van and work your way down.
You know, it obviously comes with playing better football, but really the new uniform change, like I referenced before, and like so many of these guys did, it brings energy to the fan base. It brings energy, I think, to the team. I mean, we've seen a ton of videos and content out there from the Tennessee Titans organization themselves on the players, their reactions, and behind the scenes footage. And everybody's so positive about it, right? They love the look, they love the lids, they love the uniforms. To them, they love the blue, you know, that Titan blue now. And kind of like what he was saying earlier, you know, maybe they felt like they were forced to wear navy, you know, but now they're rocking something they can feel like they can be a little more swag in. So, I mean, here's the deal. All of us in this room, all of us in this fan base, we're responsible for a home field advantage. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the team plays, but when you hear about home field advantage being thrown around, it means that when you come there, the fans are there. They're loud, they're responsive, they're engaged on every single down. And on third down, no matter if they're on the opposing 20 or our 20, they're in the red zone, we're going to get loud, we're going to get crazy, and we're going to make it hard for them to hear, hard for them to think and operate. So, you know, my hope genuinely is that the energy we have in this fan base right now is going to translate and carry over into Nissan Stadium this season. And we're going to be reclaiming some of that old home field advantage that we used to have back in the day and really make it a dominating force. So I do think the two go hand in hand. I think they have to. And I think that when the hard times come, because they're going to happen, the fans have to be resilient, and we can't waver on that. We can't just be tied by our little emotional strings in the moment. Like, we got to be the standard and set the standard, and we got to let those players see our standard, just like they want to show us their standard on the field.
Got it. Well, RJ?
Yeah. So what I was saying, oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good. Go. Yep.
Oh, okay. No, I was gonna say was with the new stadium coming in, and I tell you, if you guys, I don't know if you guys live in Nashville or not, but man, that new stadium look like it's gonna be nice. And when I seen the renderings and the pictures of it, I think we're gonna take that mug over. Hopefully, we could put a good product in there. Hopefully, I want to see something exciting in there. I don't want to just be sorry the first year in the new stadium. But I'll say this. I'll say this though, man. I just feel like when I look at our uniform, when I look at our logo, especially compared to the other logos, when I'm doing my mock drafts and all this other stuff, man, like we stick out. You know what I'm saying? That logo sticks out. You know, that light blue, it hits, man. I've been telling people that. But
Yeah.
at the same time, with the uniforms, not the uniforms, with the stadium and crowd noise, man, I think we're gonna be really loud because the one thing about the new stadium is that we'll have 60,000 people and everybody is close to the field. Everybody's close to the field than they are in the stadium, the Nissan Stadium. The new Nissan Stadium, everybody's close, and you know, so this is like it's gonna be a party going on. They talking about there's gonna be bars all over the stadium and stuff. And I'm like, man, I can't wait to see what this gonna look like. So it's gonna be one big party. One thing I like the way is the way Amy's moving. She kind of sitting back, let Chad Brinker run the football stuff, let Mike Bergonzi run the football stuff, let the football people run the football stuff. You know what I'm saying? Then on top of that, sitting back and she's just gonna she's gonna just pay for stuff, basically make everything look good. And she basically playing a role. This you ain't got it. You ain't Jerry Jones. You don't need to be in there on football stuff. Like, you don't know nothing about football. You didn't play. You know what I'm saying? Jerry Jones played. You know, so that's why he does all that stuff. And he likes control. You know, on the other hand, you need to you good at cosmetics. Make everything look good. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it.
Okay. Titanius?
I'm gonna say it like this. I'm from Nashville, but I live on the West Coast, and I travel a lot to Nashville to catch games, and it just used to be really sad to see all the other fans packing our stadium out, you know, and it left a bad taste in my mouth walking across that bridge to the hotel, you know. But now with the new look, I really think that we'll get an energy bump this first year, but the product on the field has to match. And then got the we got the new stadium open up. I know, just like RJ was saying, it's going to be a party in there. So we got to keep it rolling with our energy, right? And one thing I'll end on this. It seems like since everyone's getting connected and feeling the energy, that maybe, you know, in terms of a home field advantage for the Titans on fans, we can really start to bring some new fans into the mix. Because us, the older fans, we've been there for a while, just rooting on the team. But it's like we got to give something for the youth to really get excited about. So I'm really hoping that this rebrand, the product on the field, as well as the new stadium, just captures a new generation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that it's just like a step by step thing. You know, it as soon as we got Cam, there was kind of this new feeling in the organization. Like we were like, oh, we might have a new face of the franchise. And then we've got these new uniforms coming. And then we've got the new stadium coming. There's new energy just kind of getting pumped into the Titans. And I think in a lot of ways you can feel it around Nashville. I'm not there, but whenever I go back, like I'm seeing a few more Titans flags hung up around houses. I'm seeing it at bars more. I'm looking around and I'm going, there's energy that's starting to show up. And I think that if that keeps going, you're gonna start to see it on the field. And I the more that it does just come down to the team playing better. But as things keep progressing, I think that we're gonna see uh, a new image. Not just like the. I think that the Titans, like we've got our new look, but I think that nationwide, the Titans are gonna develop a new image.
Cool. Mhm. CJ2K, talk to us, baby.
So to be honest, it's accountability is an important word, and the fans have to be accountable as much as the team has to be accountable for all levels, being the players, coaches, and everybody in the organization. Once we start winning, there should be a little bit of an expectation for the fans to be there, be loud and proud, and be present from in this football world. We can't just think that just we're just be bad and you just think it's gonna happen. No, it's just not gonna happen. Some things just have to happen. You know, it's basically I scratch your back, you scratch my back. If you don't have the team winning, then you're not gonna have the fans present of what we're trying to do here. But I just think that with the new stadium and everything, it's all putting the chips in the right place. But all you need is the results, and that's just what we need.
I concur. Real life. Take us home, baby.
Yeah, what was the original question? I've been hearing all these answers and I forgot what the original question was.
Nah, no, the original question was, do you think that the uniforms are enough to, pretty much that give us that home field energy, the home field advantage, or, just, we actually have to put the result on the field. I mean, you know, is
Well,
that
we definitely have to put a result on the field. I don't think we can go out and be terrible and get good energy. Like maybe for a few
Yeah.
games, but it's going to wear off pretty fast if we if we don't hit the ground running. And I got up at 5 o'clock this morning. By 5:30, I had my coffee and was doing a deep dive, watching a lot of videos and things about Salah's defense. To get more acquainted with it.
Let me cut you off right there. Oh, my bad. My bad. I was paraphrasing. No, the actual. So, do you think the uniform change will help create a stronger home field feel, or does that only come with better football? That's the actual question, word for word.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it has to come with better football. It can't just be the uniforms. But like I said, I've been doing a deep dive. Kind of getting more acquainted with Salah's defense and exactly how he runs it. And I mean, I'm a believer right now, dude. I am so hyped, and I think that we will hit the ground running. That's my point, and I think we will carry the momentum. There's no end in sight, to be honest. Like I don't think that it's going to be a couple of games and then it's going to die off. I do think it requires good play, and I think that we're gonna achieve that. So,
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Boom. That
I'm gonna say
sounds good.
this though.
Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
really
Come on.
believe in Mike Beganzi, man. I really believe in Mike Beganzi, man. I'm a huge fan of him for what he's done so far, man. It just seems like he's bringing the excitement back to the Titans, man. He's drafting players that I know that are not like they're like players that we're gonna be able to recognize, man. Hopefully he picks Jeremiah Love because man, we need something exciting on offense, man. But outside of just Cam running around and throwing to people, like we need some type of explosion on offense, man. I know everybody will put people that want edge, but man, I'm telling y'all, man, edge is what something we reaching for. An edge is something J. Rob would do, man. And I feel like, man, we need to get the best player in the draft, man. That's all they've been talking about in the draft process is Jeremiah Love. I'm like, draft him.
Yeah.
He's a polarizing player, man. Somebody that everybody knows, and we'll get more primetime games if we draft Jeremiah Love. We're not gonna get primetime. Nobody wants to see David Bailey. Nobody wants to see Ruben Bain for
Yeah.
real. Like people want to see Love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, explosion come on the offense for sure. No, you ain't lying. Hey, you know what? I seen some a little while ago. I don't know, a couple weeks. But you know, one thing we can get at J. Rob. He brought us Jeffrey Simmons, so you know, hey.
Yeah, I posted that on my page just the other
Yeah,
day.
I give him that.
Even a blind
He's
squirrel
had some
finds
good drafts.
Jeffrey
I can't
Simmons
sit there and
every
act
now
like
and
all his drafts are bad.
He
I
just,
can't act like all his drafts are bad.
he just, yeah.
When he was trying to dab Mike Vrabel after trading A.K. Brown. I was at that draft, and I was at the beer cart, and I just remember the Philly fans were like, "We got A.J. Brown." I could not believe it. That always will leave the worst taste in my mouth for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time. I'm not gonna lie. So look, we're gonna keep that going. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually pull up this video right quick. I got it ready. We're gonna let it play and then just same way we've been doing, just gonna go in order and react. I'm gonna actually switch places though. I'm gonna put you next, RJ, because I know this his thing. Y'all might gotta give him double talking time on this one. Let him speak his piece, but I'm gonna pull it up right quick. So I'm gonna just throw. So all right. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll pull it up and be right back with y'all.
Titans spent a ton of money in free agency, but majority of it was on the defensive side of the ball. They addressed that. Cam Ward coming off of the #1 overall pick. They didn't really do a ton on that side of the ball. Do you think at number 4 they potentially go offense? They potentially go Jeremiah Love, and how much would that help Cam Ward?
I would. Okay, so the most important thing in Tennessee this year, outside of like the obvious stuff, right? Yes, we want to win and start to build this culture. Is like Cam Ward taking a big second step. Okay, you have Wan'Dale Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really nice slot receiver. You have Calvin Ridley, who, you know, Calvin's been up and down, up and down. There's been moments when he's played at a really high level, and there's been moments when he hasn't necessarily dominated. And then their leading receiver last year was a rookie. And so after free agency, who's really like this dominant offensive threat in Tennessee that's going to be in lockstep with Cam Ward to try to take that big jump this year? As much as I got a lot of love for Wan'Dale and Calvin, it's not either of those guys. And so I'm looking at Tennessee, and you're going, the most important thing, Cam Ward to take a nice jump. The best way to do that is put offensive talent around him. And that, for me, I understand it's a reach with the value of the position, and it's going to cost you X amount of dollars down the road. And Jeremiah Love is a super.
Excuse me. What was that?
What's his name? I think we lost service.
If you're the Tennessee Titans, don't overthink this. He's a great talent. He's a home run waiting to happen. I think he had like 30 touchdowns at Notre Dame that went over 20 yards. I think his average touchdown traveled 26, almost 27 yards. And so I'm just going, I understand that there's some defensive talent and the draft value, but, you know, with a young quarterback and trying to put as many talented players around him on the offensive side of the football as I can, this is a relatively easy decision if I'm Tennessee, and I would take Love.
Yeah, and he ran a 4.3 whatever, and then he did all the drills, and he looked outrageous. And then you talk to him, he's the best.
All right, so right after seeing that video about Jeremiah Love, because that's one of the biggest speculations that we may go with for someone who's standing on the hilltop, shouting his name, standing 10 toes down for him. Feel like that's one of the best offensive additions that we can have, and one of the best moves we can make from that position is our brother RJ. And I'm gonna go ahead and let him take the floor, and he gonna go ahead and make his points. He gonna speak for his boy, and he gonna say what he got to say. The floor is yours, RJ. Do you think, bro? Tell us about Love, man. Why we need him here, man? Talk to us.
Okay, first off, one thing I'm gonna say when it comes to this franchise, man, there's only one position in this franchise that we have consistently got right over and over and over. I've been watching this team since '99, man. There's when it comes to that position that we about to speak on, and that's that running back position. This gonna start from Eddie George all the way up to Derrick Henry. We've got that position right every single time. We have gotten the most out of that position. Now we get to this draft. The best player in the draft is a running back, and we are in prime position to pick this guy. This is God telling us that we need to pick this dude. If you guys want to win to get to a Super Bowl, don't listen to the outside narratives, because they, like I said, man, I'm a God fearing man, bro. And one thing I know is that nobody like Jesus, man. And Jesus was that guy. You know what I'm saying? He had his own followers, but there were people that wanted to kill him, man. They didn't believe in him. You know what I'm saying? That's how they are doing with this running back position in this draft, man. This guy is clearly, if you watch college football this year and the year before, this guy is clearly the best player in this draft. And he's the most exciting player in this draft, man. So I don't care about the shelf life of a running back. I don't care about the investment of a running back. I don't care what other teams have done when they drafted a running back in the top 5. You draft this guy right here, bro. He averages 6 yards a carry. He has elite speed. He has no flaws in his game. Trust me, I've been looking for flaws. He has really no flaws. He has elite vision, elite speed. He has blocks. He catches out the backfield. He can line up in the slot, line up in the outside. He's more than just a running back. He's more than just a running back. So you draft this guy. Cam Moore has a weapon that can at least be with him for the next 6 or 7 years. The guy's only 20 years old. Running backs usually fall off around 30. You at least got 8 to 10 years of this kid, bro, being an elite player, man. So that's why I'm saying draft Jeremiah Love. We need somebody. We just got these pretty fancy uniforms. I don't want to put some boring player in them, man. You put an exciting one, man, to get people to fill up these seats, man.
Hey, that's amazing.
Hey,
That's it. There you go.
Hmm.
Yo,
hey,
get in
that's
there.
how I feel about Jeremiah Love, bro.
I want to
That's
stand
how I
up.
feel about it.
I want to stand up right now, man. That's what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, I get the soundboard on here, man.
Yeah,
Hey
I'm gonna get
man,
it. You gonna get
that's
it.
how I feel about that kid, bro. That kid gonna get us. I said the same thing about Cam Ward when he was coming out. I watched him play in Miami, dude. I said that dude got it, bro. I don't know. The game that sold me on Cam was when he played against Cal. He made a 20-point comeback in 2 quarters. You know what I'm saying? When his team needed him the most, and I said that's what I wanted as my quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I fought for him and we drafted him. So I'm doing the same thing with Jeremiah Love, man. I'm fighting for him. Pray to God we draft this kid, man.
All right, there it is.
Hey,
There it is, man. All right. Now I was tripping because we literally was talking about him the other day. And I think Coach Murph was really just breaking down that same extension. I think to our brother at the bottom. I think it's really good. It's gonna get interesting at the end, but we're gonna wait till we get down there. But I think that's what he was putting that same sentiment on the 5th year option. And like he was saying, like from 5 to 7 years, like you said, you could really have this guy on the team and as an impact player. But I ain't gonna take too much away from it. Coach Murph, we're gonna go ahead and work it to you, and we're gonna work it on down to CJ Titans
Hey,
Van, Titania's new look, and then real ice. So take it away, brother. Do you think?
BPA, best player available. The Tennessee Titans are not in a position to just pick when it comes to certain positions. We need the best players available. With that being said, this man is the beast. He is the best player available. 6.9 yards per carry. Over, let me say, close to 1,400 yards when it comes to rushing. It is at 13, what is it, 1372, 1,372 yards, 18 rushing touchdowns. The man is a monster. He added a couple more when it comes to the receiving aspect of things. Um, think about it like this. When we got Steve McNair, it was in 1995. Who did we draft next? Eddie George. This is the perfect situation. I'm a God-fearing man too, just like Mr. RJ is. It lines up too perfect. We can play the mind games all we want. We can overthink all we want, but we don't need to at this time. It is time to get our running back. It is time to get our playmaker. He is our guy. And the fact you want to talk about wear and tear, fine. This guy doesn't have it. He had under 200 yards. I mean, he had under 200 carries last year, and he still got the yards that he got. He still had the yards per carry. What are we talking about right now? Yes, he had the second best running back in this draft was his backup. What are we talking about right now? He is the best player available. We need great players on this team. We need elite playmakers. We need the electricity. We're opening up a new stadium next year. Next year, we're going to be about drafting the receiver. We get the receiver next year because we already know the best receiver draft in the last 10 years will be next year. Worry about that next year. Solidify our backfield, solidify our offense for the next, let's say, 8 years to be on the safe side, and we're copacetic. We got 5 year contract when it comes to the rookie deal. Of course, there are extensions that we can do or whatnot. We got 2 years when it comes to the franchise tag. That's 7 years right there. Don't worry about the contract. Don't worry about the wear and tear. This kid is good. This kid is beyond good. He will be our playmaker for the next 5 to 6 years. We are copacetic when it comes to him. Just draft him. Don't worry about trading up. Don't worry about trading down. Don't get too cute when it comes to this BPA. BPA, best player available. Let's get it going. Let's do what we got to do. Simple as that.
All right, CJ2K. That's your name. You know, I know you're not. I know you're not. But I can't help but do it, man. I got to let it flow. So look, to us, you the fan CJ2K. So look, CJ2K, take it away, babe. Do your thing.
So obviously in 2025, we drafted with the #1 overall pick with Cam Ward to be our quarterback for the foreseeable future and just the future, and we just need to see it. As it pertains to this draft, with us having the #4 pick, my mentality is, and for at least the next 3 years, is what is best for Cam Ward going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that we're in the draft talk and everything with Jeremiah Love. I'm am not like everybody's opinion, and obviously I'll be honest with you. I do not watch college football, but as a fan that I am, I'm trying to you know translate or just listen to every opinion that I come across to know what's best for the Titans with whoever the rookie that we draft will come into the system and produce. So I just think that if running back is the answer, and if we're able to let the team just start winning, that's what I care about. But honestly, I would rather just draft a wide receiver, and maybe it is an overreach if this receiver class isn't that good. I would just think that as a GM for the future, if that receiver doesn't work out, it looks good on the resume to say, hey, well, this player was drafted very highly. Let's see if we can get compensation out. So I'm just thinking of, like at least right now, 3 years, and how we can manage and build towards just a good report in the future.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That
man.
makes
So
sense.
for me, if you want an argument against Love, you're not going to find it here because I'm right there with RJ with what Coach said. I've been watching Love pretty much every game of his for the last 2 years at Notre Dame, and I just think he is elite, and I think he is a game changer, and that's something that we need. I'll spin it a little bit differently here from some of the opinions we've heard, and in my opinion, this draft cycle and this draft class is actually fairly rich at depth on edge, including Ruben Bain's counterpart, Messidor, who, if you watched college football and you saw those games, that guy was a game wrecker in himself at times. And granted, it probably helped that he had somebody like Bain on the other side, but he's on the complete opposite side. He has to handle the tackles and the guards chipping or doing whatever. But there's a lot of different guys in this draft. And I know that Bain and Bailey and the top guys that we discuss are going to be gone by the time the Titans come back around to pick in the second round, as long as we keep our pick there. But, Jeremiah Love will bring an electricity to this team and to this city. And if you've watched him play, man, he has so many different aspects of his game. In an interview, he was asked what's one of the favorite things he likes to do. And he said, hurdling people, and I love that mentality, man, because it just shows this guy is going to find any way he can to get extra yards for his team. If you watch his tape, you see this on display when kind of a famous clip, but they're playing a game and it's down at the goal line. He gets stopped like the 3-yard line, and there's doggone 5-6 dudes trying to tackle this guy, and he keeps fighting. He gets leverage. He stays low, and he ends up scoring the ball. These are difference makers, and for me, I feel like Robert Saleh and the defenses of Saleh's past. They've had some extremely good players, but you look last year in San Francisco, he lost Bosa, he lost the linebacker, I think it was Warner, and these are superstar players, and Saleh still had an excellent defense. It would have been better with those presences, quite obviously, but he had a great defense, and he brings in Jeremiah Johnson, right? He brings in Johnson. Johnson's going to be a great edge for us if he can stay healthy. Then you've got John Franklin Myers on the inside next to Big Jeff, and that has me drooling at excitement thinking about those two guys lining up to one another. And then we got Femi, right? Who obviously we invested a second-round pick in. So maybe it's a little bit of self-convincing because I'm convicted of picking Jeremiah at 4, but I think we're actually set up pretty good on the line, and I think we can wait and grab depth there later on in the draft. But what we can't grab is somebody that can come in and immediately change the backfield and give us 2 weapons back there with Cam and Love that absolutely are game changers in their own right. So, man, I would absolutely love to see Love in Nashville.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Well, for me, the camera's acting a little funny right now, so we're just going to speak from the logo. All right, so I started off as far away from Love as I possibly could. I'm a University of Miami fan. I was on the Bane train. I liked what David Bailey was bringing. I liked what Sonny Styles showed up at the combine and put on film and put in the drills and everything. And I just kept hearing the talk about Jeremiah Love, so it prompted me to put on the tape. Once I put the tape on and saw what this kid could do in terms of splitting out wide, he's a bigger back. He's not a small guy, and he's got the 4.3 speed on top of that to really hit a home run. It started to really sell me. But the thing that really put me in his camp, I think, for this pick is the fact that everybody out of Notre Dame talks about he's a culture setter. And that's what we need right now. Someone who helps set our culture, right? And if you've got a guy like Cam Ward who holds himself to one of the highest standards I've ever seen from a college quarterback in terms of he goes into film sessions looking how he can get better, no matter who he's talking to, right? I really think that you add a guy like Jeremiah Love in the backfield with a quarterback like Cam Ward, you might really have something special. And as RJ spoke to the pedigree of our organization, I'm from Nashville. I had the pleasure of meeting Steve McNair and Eddie George, and on several different occasions. And it's just an aura that they used to bring when you get in their presence. And I think that you add a guy like Love into the mix with a guy like Cam Ward, you really are setting yourself up for success. Now, I will kind of double dip here and say that I do think that we do need some pieces on the defense, but as was previously mentioned, this is a deep draft in terms of the edge position. There's a lot of different places we can go, and I think if you add a home run hitter into the city of Nashville, and you put that on the field, not only will we get primetime eyes on us, but we'll remain in the conversation because at any point in time we could put up the 28 number that has eluded us for so many different games throughout several different seasons. So at this point, I would have to say I'm on Jeremiah Love. But hey, if Arvell Reed fell down to us, I wouldn't be upset if we went that way. But at this point, I'd have to say Love.
Yeah, I also am kind of like, hey, if Arvell is there, I would love to have Arvell. But I really think that Love, I think that the organization wants Love. I think that I do think that Love, regardless of position, is probably the best player in the draft. And not only that, but I was going through some history stuff, and a lot of people talk about how taking a running back really high isn't the greatest idea in the world. And I was looking at it, and Bijan, Saquon, Genti, all of these really highly drafted running backs that have been taken recently, they were all taken the year before those teams took their young quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mendoza's getting drafted this year. Bijan got drafted before Penix. Saquon got drafted before Daniel Jones. Like, there's just this weird thing that's going on, and I just noticed it. And I think that it makes a lot more sense to take this running back when you've got a quarterback that you can tell can kind of you get Wandale, and Wandale plays, I think, a lot like Restrepo from Miami. And we have Restrepo, but I think Wandale's better. But they have a similar style. And you get Cam somebody that he can just funnel passes to. But then you get Love there to cover up any of the weaknesses that the offense is going to have, because we're a rebuilding team. From 2020 to 2022, we don't have a single player left. There's not a single player from those draft classes that are still on the team. Like, it's ridiculous. Our depth is horrible. So sometimes we just need to take the best player and find a single blue chip.
Realize?
All right, I'm good. I'm good to go. So I got a couple of notes here. First, first I want to lead off by saying, well, first of all, I'm glad I'm going last because some of y'all probably would like to give me some feedback on what I'm about to say. But so first I want to say is like our positions of need are linebacker, edge, wide receiver, a right guard, in my opinion, and then running back question mark. Okay, so and I know that sounds crazy saying question mark. I'll get into that in a second. So I just want to be cautious here of overhyping one player because I really looked this up, and Eddie George was the third running back taken in that draft. Derrick Henry was the second one taken, pick 45, and CJ2K was the fifth running back taken. So it's not always the most flashy one that ends up being the best. And so that's what I wanted to say. And also I'm like I'm not going to be disappointed if we take Love. Like, obviously he's a little bit of a freak athlete with his size and speed, and he did some good things. People questioning his strength of opponents in college and so forth, but I do believe he will be a good running back. But I don't think that this, from my point of view, like this conversation is about like what I want, because they're going to do what they're going to do, and I'm going to be happy with it no matter who it is. So what I'm trying to what I would like to focus on is what is actually going to happen. And you know, somebody I had to go find the tweet to give the guy credit, but somebody I seen on X there said that, and I believe this, that Borgonzi is playing chess, not checkers, and he is looking at the financials of this as well. Because when you build a team, you've got so much budget, and that's it. So, can you go out, like, think about it this way? Can you go out in free agency and buy a really good running back for the same price that you can buy a really good linebacker or edge, or one of those positions? No, running backs are a lot cheaper. You can buy a really good one for half the price that you can some of these other positions. So from a if you really think about it, like it financially, it wouldn't be a good idea to take a running back, especially that early in the draft, because you can fix that problem, in other ways through trades or free agency. And so, uh, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, we might not go for Love. Like, I think people need to get prepared for that, because there's just been people tend to follow hype so easily, and I just don't know if that's what we're going to do, because like I'm hoping and praying that Arvell Reese falls to us, because I truly think that Borgonzi would take him instead. We just signed Julius Chestnut. For what reason, I have no idea, because if you're planning on drafting Love, then why are you re-signing Chestnut? That we've already, I don't, that doesn't make sense. So I don't know. I don't know what the plan is, man. But I would rather have Arvell Reese or trade down, because, like I said, we've got multiple positions that need to be filled. And if we take a running back and then second round we take a receiver, what are we doing at linebacker? What are we doing at edge? Like we've got some problems right there. So I don't know. I think there's probably better options than to take Love, honestly.
Okay.
Let me, if I can, I just want to say something real quick about it. So, as a fan base, I think that he does have a valid point that, the hype train can happen and people can jump on it because, it's what's they're seeing, it's what's in their conscious stream of conscious, it's on their algorithm, whatever. And so, clearly, if you don't know ball as much, there might be a sector of the fan base that might say, hey, let's just grab Love because it sounds good. For me, coming from watching him for a couple of years, I want to draw a quick comparison in the NFL. If we look at today's Detroit Lions, right, and we look at Aiden Hutchinson on the edge, and then we look in the backfield and see Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, granted, Gibbs had a 1-2 punch with Montgomery, which is now gone and moved on to another team. But look at that model, right? And we have an offense that actually has a good plan for the most part, an offense that's run well with a good quarterback, good pieces, Amon-Ra. Everybody does their job. As Titan fans, it's hard to imagine that type of offense and what we've been through with Callahan for the last couple of years. But what would you rather have, right? Could you still get good defensive performances in a game to get to the playoffs with a lesser value Hutchinson? Or could you get the same type of scoring, dynamic offense, play breaking ability without Gibbs? And for me, I'd rather have the playmaker.
Okay. All right. Look, let me hold you right there. I got two more people I'm ready to bring on the stream. They're gonna have some impact. Not some impact, but well, I hope impact. I mean, but some opinions, man. We're gonna try to let me see how this works. All right. Boom. I did it. Hey. All right. So
What's
we got
good?
Ghost Titan. You with us, Ghost Titan?
What's up, man?
All right. What's up? Kobe finna be Allen, man. What's up? You with us?
Yes, sir. What's good?
It was really good. Yeah, I wanted to bring y'all on too. We got few people in here. We got RJ at the top, Coach Shaq, CJ, Titan Van, Titanius X, which is a crazy name. New Look Titans, Real Ice Titan, got Ghost, and now we got Kobe in the building. Yeah, because you know why I wanted to bring you up too, especially you, Kobe. I've been seeing, like I literally, like y'all here, like I said, y'all been hand selected per se, because I see your posts. I read your posts. Like I really truly follow y'all. I'm hoping that I'm liking and sharing and retweeting and giving you love and support that we all trying to have. But no, you, Kobe, a real gun ho. He is gun ho on trading down to 9. I've seen this multiple times. So we're in the conversation really right now talking about Love and taking them at 4 and the impact, or if there are other prospects and options. So before we wrapped it up, and I gave everyone else a chance, because of your unique perspective, and both of you all, I want to kind of let you get in on the conversation as well. So sell us on Love or another option is up to you. Totally your perspective. I'll get into more after that, but I'm gonna start with you, Ghost, and then Kobe. I'm gonna let you take it after him, and then I'll take it back and we'll continue the conversation. So at 4. You on Love? You sold, or you got another option? If so, what and why?
For me, man, I've been on the Love train since like January. I think he feels like the Brock Bowers of this draft. You know what I mean? That like one of those kind of can't like that value position argument, but like can't miss kind of player. I do think I'm noticing a shift in the NFL with the running back and that like people's views on it with Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, those kind of players and them getting paid and all that. I mean, they will get paid. But yeah, I've been on Love, but I kind of also feel like this draft, because of our position and what like number 4 kind of means relative to the stuff going on around the Titans, I think they're in a really good spot. Like if they don't go Love and they get like Reese, Bain, Bailey, or even Sonny Styles go Bucks, I would be happy with that, and I'd also be happy with a trade down. Well, trade down and still getting Love would be ideal, but trading down and getting a wide receiver, I'd be all right with that too. A Jordan Tyson or a Carnell Tate. I think all of those help the Titans. All of those moves help the Titans. It's just a matter of making the right one that day.
I do have a question for you. So you said that, you said go Bucks. So so my thing is about Sonny Styles. Like, were you okay with drafting him before the combine? Because a lot of people, I didn't have a lot of people saying they wanted to draft Sonny Styles until he had a perfect combine. And I just wanted to feel like if you felt the same way as well.
I thought he was being overshadowed by Reese. I think Reese didn't get a chance with the Buckeyes to like focus on an area. Sonny, it was amazing at the position he played at the with the Buckeyes at linebacker. He's fast, he's athletic, he can get from sideline to sideline. He's big, and we need a linebacker. And I think with Reese, it's a lot of how do I say it? He's
I
good,
feel like he
but
has
it's a
raw
lot of
potential.
imagination. There's a little bit of imagination
Yeah.
there you got to do to see him at on the end position.
I'm gonna just be real. I think Reese going to if he goes to the Jets, I think he's gonna be a buzz. That's just me. I just don't feel like the Jets are gonna put the effort to put him at edge and try to get him to work. Then they just gonna end up putting him back at linebacker where he was at Ohio State. Like the Jets gonna mess him up, man. He gotta go to an organization that's gonna know how to use him. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. I'll be cool with him because I feel like Salah gonna be patient with him and stuff. But I just feel like he's learning a brand new position in New York where they overreact to the littlest thing. Like I don't see it happening.
We just don't want two Femis, right? We don't want two projects that high in the draft.
Yeah, two Femis.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Y'all crazy. Kobe, talk to us, man. Come on, man. Come on, take us home,
Yes,
baby.
sir. All right. So first off, I want to start because I know it seems like I don't like Jordan or Jeremiah Love, and I don't want him on the Titans. He is my absolute favorite player in this draft. I think he is a game changer at the running back spot. I just think with the 4th overall pick, we're just in such a good spot right there, especially with our young team. If we were a more veteran-led team and ready to win right this second, which I do think we're ready to win, but you know what I mean, like a Chiefs or like a Bengals, like one of those teams that are you know they're going to be in it in the end. Those are the teams that you draft a running back right there because he's the best available and he's going to get you better right now. And you know he's going to get you better right now. With the Titans, I think we have a lot of other holes that we could fill with a trade back. And a trade back is my number one option for us in the first round. I think there's some teams like the Chiefs or the Bengals. The Chiefs were not very good rushing the passer last year. I wouldn't say not very good, just not as good as they normally are that we see Chris Jones led pass rush. He's getting older. I think they're going to want to. Well, first off, Kelsey is not going to be here very, very much longer. They're going to want to get those guys another ring before they leave. So I could see them being aggressive in the draft and moving up to draft a Bailey or a Bain to solidify their edge, and that puts us in a really good spot because that nine pick is a very good pick for a Love falling back. Maybe I don't see the Giants taking him at 5. I just really don't, especially with the addition of John Harbaugh. I don't see him taking a running back at the 5 spot. I think they go defense, something, and maybe not defense, but I just don't see a running back. And then Washington is another interesting team that could potentially take Jeremiah Love. But with Washington, their wide receiver room is just not very good right now, especially losing Debo. I mean, you got Terry McLaurin, who's very rarely healthy throughout the season. He had a good year the year before this past year, but I think they could be a team that snags one of these wide receivers at that 7th spot. And then that leaves maybe Love falling back to us at 9 in a trade back with the Chiefs, which is my ideal way to take Jeremiah Love. I love him and would love to have him on the Titans. I just think you got to take that 4th overall pick and trade it back to get maybe that Chiefs 29th pick. And then you get a star wide receiver with the 9th pick or Jeremiah Love with the 9th pick. And then you also get a very good edge rusher with pick 29, or the Chiefs have, I think, pick 40 in the 2nd round, which is also a pretty good pick considering the edge and the other guys that will be there early in the 2nd round. I just think a trade back is ideal for the Titans, especially with a young roster and just adding more draft assets in the future to help build this young roster. But yeah, that's my take with number 4. I would love a trade back. If we take Jeremiah Love at 4, I'm going to be ecstatic. He's going to be so good in the NFL. I will not argue that. He is going to be amazing. and I would love to have him on the Titans. I just think we're better off trading back and seeing if we can still land him. And if we don't, take in Tate or Jordan Tyson, who Jordan Tyson is my favorite receiver in this draft. I think he shows a lot of rookie year OBJ in his film that I've been watching. And that just gets me excited to imagine like OBJ, his rookie year, going to team up with a Mahomes or a young rising quarterback rather than going to an old Eli Manning, and then you know how that went. But
Okay.
I just think there's a lot of options we can do with that four pick.
Let me ask you this then, right quick. Ask you one quick question, right quick. So, no, that's very intriguing and interesting, and hell yeah, I think we all on board with that. Hell yeah, we can trade back and get love, or even if we get more value into it. But let's say, okay, say, and I'm gonna ask you personally, your personal perspective. You're the Titans. You sitting there for no trade partner, so you're there. What are you doing? What you gonna do? What are you gonna do if you're there? You can't get it.
Who are the first three picks would be my question.
Okay.
Because it would be very hard to pass up Jeremiah Love. I'm not gonna lie to you. If he's there, just sitting staring you in the face, I mean, you almost gotta take him. But my other thing would be maybe like a Sony Styles.
Yeah.
I think he is a game changer on the defense. Very athletic, and he can play a lot of different positions. And yeah, he could help this defense really in any way we need, especially with Saleh at the head coach. So yeah, I think my first, instinct, I would just take Love. Honestly, that's your safest bet. If you're there and you don't have any trade partners, you just got to take the safe. He's going to make an impact day one. So, yeah, my answer to that would definitely be Love if we don't have any trade partners. But, yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask y'all this. So before we move on to the last topic, and like I said, we're gonna, for those of y'all that's just joining, I'll break down a little bit more later. But once we finish this up, y'all welcome to stay on, and we're gonna pretty much have like I say, like a free for all, but kind of like an open discussion, and like bring up a lot of different topics that you may So we'll get to that point later. But before we move on to the last topic on this episode, I'm gonna ask anybody: has anyone heard anything, or does anybody want to address anything that anyone said? Anybody have a rebuttal or anything? I'm gonna start at RJ, and we'll work our way around. But yeah, if you do, if you don't, cool. Just no, I'm good. But if you do, because I know you hear things a lot of times, people be being respectful and not trying to cut off, but may want to have some or address some. So because I want the conversation to be intriguing and I want us to engage on that. And open up the perspective and learn from each other, and just see how everyone's looking at the team. But yeah, RJ, have you heard anything that you want to rebuttal or address before we move on to the next topic? I'll let you start. Do your thing, and we'll work our way around.
You just talking about what the draft, or you just saying in general?
If anybody said something while they was talking and you wanted to
Okay. Oh yeah, man. I bet me and Kobe been kind of going at it on Twitter, man.
Nice to finally meet you, by the way, bro.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to meet you, man. Look, man, I enjoy you on Twitter, bro. I be in there I like trolling people, man. It don't be nothing personal, man. I just be there. I just like to make people laugh, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man. Like I said, man. I'm in the process of trying to get my Twitter back to where my old profile was, man. I was at 3K, man. I was on my way to 4K, but yeah, I'm trying to get I'm at 1K now, man, with the new profile. So, and y'all just keep on supporting me, man. I don't know where it's gonna take me, but hey, hopefully
get there.
Yeah, I'm getting it twice as fast as I did it the last time though. So
yes, sir. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm glad, man. I'm glad that we as Titan fans, we starting to come together, man. That's one thing.
We've been so disconnected here in the recent years. So much bickering and arguing, man.
It was just so hard to be. It was hard to be it was hard to come out and say that you're a Titan fan, bro. To be real, like, if you ain't living in Nashville, bro, ain't very many of us.
It's like going in the gas station full of fine bitches and trying to say, "Let me get 2 on 3."
Yeah, exactly. And it's like my thing is though, the uniforms. I'm gonna be real. The uniforms before these that we just got, they were okay. They were kind of mid, bro. Let's be 100% real. Logo was kind of old school, bro. Like it's like the Titan. Now we look like, man, hey man, they might be about something. We change the brand, we change a persona about yourself, you start to move a little different, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
you
yeah.
start dressing a little bit better. You know, people start to look at you differently. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how the Titans is moving, man. And I've loved it rebrand, man. I've loved every single minute of it since I went to the uniform party, man. And man, I'm just telling y'all, man. I didn't feel like a poverty franchise. It was one of the few times I have been happy about being a Titan fan, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so
And that energy spread quick too.
yeah, it
Yeah.
did, man. It came right out of that building and went right to
Oh
Twitter,
yeah.
right to social
We
media.
was waiting
I mean,
for it.
everybody would talk about the uniform reveal, man.
Yeah.
Everybody. You know, even I had said it beforehand. I had made a tweet. I was like, man, before the whole NFL goes in on our uniform, like, you know, boy, we about to be talking to town. Like, make sure you get your sword and shield ready because there's gonna be a bunch of haters. And you know,
Yeah.
I'm in the AFC South group. They hate what we building, man. They hate it.
I
They
know they
hate it.
do. I
They
know
hate it because they know we coming. This time when we get back to that top, we gonna win that fucking ring. That's what we gonna
Oh
do,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah,
We gonna
yeah,
win that
Talk
for
about
ring.
sure. We got
it. Talk
to.
about it. All right, yo, you know what's coming next. Coach Murph over there taking notes. He over there making playbook
Oh,
notes.
man. I got front and back, man. I got hella shit on here. But seriously, Cole, I know you said something about a trade back when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it's going to be a trade back. If they do trade up, I think they're going to try to get Sonny Styles more so than anything because they lost
Yeah.
their linebacker more so than anything. And Sonny Styles is a beast. I think he's better than Reese, in my opinion. I think Reese got
I can
looked
agree.
good because of Sonny, but I can definitely see that. Culture setter, I know X, you said something about a culture setter. That's 100% fact, brother. I think he really is a culture setter when it comes to love. And I think he'll be a great asset to this damn team. And I look forward to him being on here. Um, Titan Van, I know you said something about the edge position. That is 100% fact. This draft, when it comes to the edge, is loaded from top to bottom. So we do not need to press and get it early. We can wait and do what we got to do. And also, we still got Bosa that's available after the draft. I've said this before on X. I said this on other platforms. They playing spades. They're not playing chess right now, or they're not playing checker. I kept on getting that messed up yesterday. They playing spades, man. They holding their hand close. So therefore, I think they're loading enough for something else. It could be Bobby at the middle linebacker position. It could be Bosa. It could be a lot of different players. They can be bringing
Juwan
Zeitler back.
Jennings.
Jawan Jennings, players
That's what I
like
want.
that. So I think they're holding it close to their chest right now because they playing spades. They not trying to. They playing
Yeah.
mind games. They want to wait and see what's going on. My brother CJ, you said something about us getting a receiver. You got to realize this man can put up 800 easy at the slot position if we wanted to. If he wanted to, he's that good. He can be a receiver. He can be a running back too. He can be a 800, 1,000 yard rushing type guy. So keep a lookout for that when it comes to it. Who else we got? Mr. New Look Titan. You said something about uh, Wandell or Mr.
Wandale.
Wandell. Yes, I apologize for that. Wandell. He's basically Recepo. He's basically him, and I feel like Recepo is going to get better from looking at Robinson
Oh
play.
yeah.
So that's a great combination piece. Recepo is going to make this team. I really think so. He might be our second slot. So I'm excited about that if that does come down to it. Um, I'm trying to run down everybody. 'Cause everybody made great points. I just want to make sure I touch on those points. Do, 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 do. Every
Real.
draft is different. Every draft is definitely different. So I know someone talked about the draft this year being a little bit different. I believe it's Real Ice Titan. You said
Yeah.
something about the draft. Every year when you were talking about the running back and how it was setting up and stuff like that, with Derek being the second running back taken, every draft is different. So us taking a running back this early wouldn't really be out of the norm because the guy plays running back as well as a receiver. So it's just like we getting uh, more bang for our buck if you want to say it like that. So everybody said some beautiful things. I truly appreciate all y'all because y'all making me think, y'all making me write down ish, and I love doing that because I love talking when it comes, especially when it comes to the Titans, and especially when it comes to this draft period. This draft in the middle is loaded. So we don't got to worry about certain things like receiver. We can worry about that in the second. We can worry about that in the third because we'll get it. Or we can even just draft one this year, get Jawan Jennings, and then worry about our wide receiver one next year when that draft is loaded, edge loaded, offensive lineman loaded. So we are copacetic when it comes to the position in which we're in. We're going to have fun no matter what. Oh yeah, also Royal Ice Titan. You said something about buying a running back. We went over the running backs yesterday. I don't think he put that out there yet. There's a lot of good running backs that's available, but all those running backs will be either extended, franchise tag, or they will be over the hump when it comes to the running back position and the age. Jonathan Taylor is going to be the best running back available, but also he will be more than likely franchise tag or extended. You got Brees, franchise tagged again or extended. You have Gibbs. He's going to get the club option. So you got Bijan Robinson also. He's going to get the club option. So there will not be any running backs in the free agency next year. We do have some free agents. I mean, some rookie running backs that might be decent, but none of them will be like Love. It's just going to be like this year. You know how everybody was talking about the quarterback class and how you can wait to get a quarterback until this draft this year and don't draft Ward. It's not going to look out. It's not going to play out the way you think. So that's why I personally feel like we should get Love now. I'll stop it at that, brother.
Okay. All right, CJ, got anything you want to address or rebuttal?
You know, just for me, just 2026, just trying to lead the younger generation of Titans fans and represent as much as anything. I mean, for me, I'm just all jokes. I just think of this draft like, could you imagine if the Giants trade up with us and we get Scatterboo and he's actually he has to recover from his foot injury? That would be such a J Rob thing to do.
Yes, it will be.
Yeah, for sure.
But for the most part, all we want to do is just win football games, and that's just starting just do the right things. Don't overshoot, don't undershoot. Just do the right things, and that's all that matters with us.
100%.
All right, Titan Van, where you at?
Yeah, man. So just a couple of small points. I think to touch on some things you guys said that I liked. There was a comment about positional value and relatable to a recent memory of Brock Bowers. I think that was a great analogy there that was made because how many teams would love Brock Bowers right now? And I remember that draft when he was coming out. I watched every Georgia game and saw what type of a tight end, type of a player he was. And, Realize made a great point about our running back history and where those guys fell in their particular specific drafts. However, the reality is in the NFL, whether you're a GM, an organization, or a fan like us, we're not really going to know until we know. And that's why you have to do your research. And I think going with a BPA type approach for this franchise and this moment makes a lot of sense, along with my previous comment about the depth. But there's just as much of a chance that we could stay at 4, pick Ruben Bain, and his short arms end up screwing us in the long run, So
Oh man.
none of us, the beauty of it is that none of us know what's going to happen. And even us talking about Jeremiah Love, we really don't know how his career is going to pan out, quite obviously. But there was a lot of good points made, and especially, Kobe talking about the trade back, he made some excellent points as well. In an ideal world, I would also love to trade back and add draft capital to strengthen the roster and the depth issues that we've suffered through. And then if you're able to get a Love at 9, but there's risk involved there. And I think the guys that are hired to do this, the guys like Morganzi, whom, honestly, man, I trust that dude. He has shown such a stable presence. Every presser that we've seen, in every interview that we've seen, he clearly has a vision. He spent 16 years in an extremely successful organization that was run top to bottom successfully, and the fruit of that came to fruition in a pretty massive way that us fans would love to see. But he knows what he's doing, and I trust him. And he has those relationships with the other GMs, and these guys have conversations leading up to the draft. Hey, what are you thinking? Because they also, as peers, have to build trust. They got to have relationships. They got to pick up phones and make trades. So I don't know if it's going to happen, man. I don't know if we're going to trade back or we're going to stick true. But, last year we were in a great position. We had the first pick. Nobody could jump ahead of us. They could only trade with us. And I think organization made it pretty clear leading up to the draft who we wanted, who we were picking. And I kind of feel like that might happen again this year. I don't know that we're going to be all that in the dark when Goodell comes up and reads the name off the card. So I'm looking forward to it. You guys made some excellent points, and I appreciate all that perspective.
Cool. Titan is X, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here. Look, I want to be honest about the trade back thing. It's kind of like your first middle school dance. You can stick your hand out, but somebody got to grab it before you hit that dance floor, man. And like, you usually see a trade happen when it's a quarterback heavy draft. So I don't know if that's even a realistic option. But on the flip side of that is we could be putting out a smoke screen about Jeremiah Love. That's another thing that I've been thinking about. Like, hey, if you can get somebody to sell somebody, oh yeah, we're yeah, you can entice them into a trade, especially with a guy like Morgan. He's a split talker. But for the most part, I think everybody's making really solid points. It's good to hear different perspectives because as a Titans fan, especially out here on the West Coast, you guys were talking about how hard it is to rep the Titans. Well, look, man, I do it wherever I go, and yeah, I put up with a lot of trash talk from the organizations, to put it lightly. But I mean, the main thing for me is I just hope that the stars line up for us. I really do. I mean, I've been waiting for us to get back to the big dance ever since Kevin Dyson came up a yard short. And it's like I just want to see this fall our way for once. You know, and so when it comes down to like Bain or Reese or Sonny Style, it would be nice to have a Fred Warner and a Robert South of you Sonny Style. But at the end of the day, it's all about how it lines up for us. And if we are able to trade back, I really hope that it's for a ransom where we get a few picks, and where we can really like fill some holes with some talented players. Because at the end of the day, we've been running out a lot of Jags, just another guys. You know what I'm saying? We really need some players that move the needle. So however it breaks down, I'm just going to be tightened up about it. If it's love, even though my man just hit my guy with a stray bang, even though he does have the short arms, he does move offensive linemen all the way back. So he's a powerful guy. But however it shakes out, I just hope it plays out in our favor. I love everything everybody bringing, and I probably have some more controversial takes on.
All right, we'll get into it. New look. You got anything you want to address or rebuttal?
Yeah, I listen, if we could trade back, I would be full for it. I think a trade back would be awesome. But I'm just gonna go through something real quick here and like give like a bit of a list. Like these are the last 10 picks that were traded in the drafts that were top 10. Bryce Young, Jalen Waddle, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Patrick Mahomes, Mitchell Trubisky, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz. And then the last time the fourth overall pick was traded was in 2014 for Sammy Watkins, who at the time was who is considered to be like the best wide receiver coming out of that draft and one of the top 5 players in that draft. There's like I love the idea of trading down, but the problem is that teams like don't trade like a top 10 pick in the draft unless it's like typically for a quarterback or will like somebody like Will Anderson or something like that. Like, and I think that there's a risk in drafting Jeremiah Love, Sonny Styles, and these types of players this high. But think about it this way: there's an even crazier risk to trade away multiple picks and trade for somebody like the Chiefs. It's kind of like not a great idea organizationally for them to trade away their 9th overall pick, their 29th pick to us so that they can get a running back when what they could have is a good edge rusher and a good wide receiver at the picks that like all the things that we want. Like we want these extra picks so that we can have more shots at some good players. Why would they risk that when they already have those picks. Like, there's no reason for them to give those picks to us, particularly for a running back when they just signed Kenneth Walker. Like, they have no reason to go and do that. Like, I think that trade backs are. I love trade backs. I would love for us to trade back. I just think it is really, really unlikely that that happens, particularly because this draft doesn't have the value that past classes have had.
I think
Like,
I think we're gonna trade back in the
the
second round. I've been pretty loud about it. I think we're gonna draft Love and
oh
we're gonna try to trade back in the second round. I think 35 is a little too rich for us to be trying to pick
n-
right there when we got holes everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
no, I don't disagree about those later rounds. I'm just talking about like in the top 10. Being in the top 10 typically requires at least an extra second or another first. Like, it's expensive to trade in the top 10, and there's just not enough like blue chip players at premium positions to justify a top
Mm.
10 trade for a lot of other teams.
Good
I'll
point.
And
say
it
this
just
though.
like,
Oh, well, I was gonna say this though. So the player that I'm looking at the most for a trade back option is Ty Simpson, and I've been big on Ty Simpson because if he makes it to pick 35, we can use that as trade bait because somebody will trade up to try to get Ty Simpson. You know what I'm saying in the second round, and
yeah.
I think that's been my guy.
I will
No,
say this. Go ahead, brother.
I mean, I fully agree. I think that there's a really good chance that that second round pick gets traded. I just
Yes.
like I'm firm that the fourth pick is really probably not going to get traded.
I
Mm.
definitely see us if we do trade from 4. I think we're going to take a pick next year more so than an extra pick this year. So it will be like we get their first round draft pick, and then we're instead of getting a second round pick, we might get another first next year because next year's draft is so crazy. You don't trade those 2027 draft picks. I'm firmly against trading any 2027 draft picks because that draft is so solid. So if we do trade the 4, I promise you it's going to be probably for a first this year and probably in um, a third, a couple thirds, and a first next year, something like that. Because I just have a feeling if that is the case, I don't think we're going to trade, but if we do, I think that's the case. I'm with RJ. I definitely think we're trading down from 35. That's a fact. That's definitely going to happen because of the value, the way it looks. We can get our guy, whoever we get in that second round pick, between let's say 38 and 48. So that's the way it's moving right now because we're going to get a receiver 9 times out of 10, and 9 times out of 10 that's going to be the run for the receivers. It's going to be late first to around 50. So we can look out for things like that. And you said something about Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson is going to go earlier than a lot of people think. Um,
You think he's going
Continue to
first
look at.
round?
I think he's going to go first round, just like I think Omar Cooper Jr. That's my favorite receiver in the
Man,
draft
I
this
I,
year.
Yeah.
I love
That's
Omar Cooper.
hey, I love that
Omar's
cat.
going to be gone.
I love
Omar's
Yeah,
going
he
to be
going first. Man,
gone.
he got too
He's
much
on the
buzz.
board.
Man, he was going
Exactly.
third round.
If he's there at 35, I'm not trading Ish. I'm selecting him right then and there.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to end up going first round somehow, some way, and he might go a lot higher than a lot of people think. I honestly think he might go higher than Tate as well as Tyson because he's
Huh.
that good. But it depends on what you want. What's your flavor? What's your favorite flavor? So when it comes to blue chip players, they can play in any system. Tate can't play in any system. Tyson can't play in any system. But Omar Cooper, I'll put my middle finger up. I apologize. But Omar Cooper Jr., he can't play in any system at all. So just keep a lookout for things like that. Yeah. I apologize for getting out of order, fellas.
Good. Good. That's what it's all about. Good.
It's not a courtroom, man.
It's still at the same time. I got to make sure.
Yeah, I think we have real ice. If I remember the order correctly.
Yeah, I've been taking some more notes. So, so after the first 10 picks, I think this is something that I think everybody knows this, but we don't really talk about it. But after like the first 10 picks or so, like the average fan watching the draft doesn't really know anything after the first 10 because we don't ever talk about those players. Like the only thing we ever talk about is like these first few picks. And that, especially if you have like a top 5 pick, like we do, our entire conversation is focused around that. Whereas like, I don't know who has like pick 12 or 13, but those teams, those fans do have those conversations because they got to worry about everybody that's getting drafted up until then. Yeah, so we actually don't talk very much about past 4 or 5, like, and I think we need to start like digging in a little deeper because I've heard a couple people say like a trade back is definitely not going to happen from 4. I don't know about that. Like, I think you have to look at like not the talent in the draft, but like look at the needs of the teams. Like we don't know what a team like the Cleveland Browns are thinking. Like
That's what
they
I
do
was going to
they,
say.
they
The
do
I
they
know
Browns
do.
what they
exist.
think.
I think they're going line. They're going
I
O
mean,
line.
I mean
They don't even know what they're thinking.
They
they
don't.
they,
They
they do.
can't go back.
Listen, I got a friend who's a Browns fan. If they take an O lineman, I
She's
might
gonna
have
go
put him
crazy.
on suicide watch.
But they need it though.
Like,
They let go
They
all their
need a
line.
line though.
They
Like,
need a line. Yeah, they need that right tackle from Miami would be perfect for them. But that,
so yeah, like so Titanius X is talking about you have to have somebody to reach out and grab your hand. I think it's going to be based on the needs, not so much as the talent. And RJ said, where we're talking about where the trade is going to happen. He said the 35 he thinks is going to be traded. Now I do think that if 4 doesn't get traded, that 35 will get traded. So I do agree if 4 doesn't get traded, and I think he doesn't think 4 is getting traded, so he thinks 35, and I agree with that. The next thing is I love the research that New Look did. Shout out to that research, man. And then Sonny and Reese is what I want to talk about now because
oh man,
I hate Ohio State. Okay, so y'all have to know how unbiased that I am being right now, like by considering either one of these guys. But like I started watching, and this is like a big point I want to make. Probably the most important thing I'm going to say is I've really been like researching and watching videos and about Robert Saleh's style of defense and what he likes to do and what he did
yes,
with the Niners. And he likes to crowd the line of scrimmage, and you never know where the blitz is coming from. He's got like sometimes he's got 7 guys that are like lined up to blitz, and you never know like what 4, maybe more than 4, but a lot of
hmm
times it's like 4 guys that end up coming, but you don't know what 4 it is, and the quarterback is so flustered, in the first couple of seconds. He thinks everybody's covered, but he thinks he's about to get sacked, and like it's just chaos, and I love it, man. I hope y'all like take some time to like really dig into that, because if you want to get excited about this upcoming season, like go watch some Robert Saleh defense tapes, man. Like it's fun to watch. So,
Alontae Tate
I,
is
so
about
I
to
was
go crazy.
so I was
that's why I'm
watching
not
that.
buying Edge, man. I don't like Edge at 4, man. I feel like he can stop stuff without it. You know what I'm saying?
So I was watching that, and so sometimes like he plugs the gaps with these linebackers and he sends them. And Sonny Styles, he's blitzed a few times, but he is mainly a coverage linebacker. He plays linebacker. He plays middle linebacker. He stays back. That's what he does. That's his bread and butter. Now with Reese, he's right now he's when he gets on the mic, he's saying that he's an edge and all this stuff, but that's because he wants to make more money because edge rushers make more money in the league. So if he's classified as an edge, then he's gonna make more money. So you have to know that stuff when you hear these guys talk. And so but really what he is he's a linebacker, but he is capable of a pass rush. And I think that giving Saleh an option for a guy like Reese to come up and not just like bluff blitz, but actually come. I think that he could use a guy like Reese a little bit better than he could Sonny. Now, I'm not saying he can't use Sonny. Like we need another linebacker. Sonny Styles and Cedric Gray sounds pretty good to me. So like I think it will work, but I think Reese is the better fit. I just don't know if Reese is going to be available. I think Sonny will probably be there. So
I think Reese probably going to the Jets. I think he's going number 2, number
Hey,
probably,
be careful.
but we don't know what the Jets are going to do though, honestly. And that brings me to my next point is Ty Simpson. Like y'all mentioned him, I think that look at people like JJ McCarthy and Penix. I mean, like I'm not saying these guys weren't worthy of going like maybe at the end of the first round, but these guys went like top 10. What if some quarterback hungry team comes out and drafts Ty Simpson at like between 10 and 15 or something? Yeah, it's very possible. Like they're just desperate for a Cam Ward, and we got one. So And then the next thing is Murph mentioned it. He said, there's not any candidates that we can go after for running back. But right now, I mean, I think Devin A Chain is he's been flirting around. Like they've been talking about it. It's like, I mean, it would be nice if we could work something out. I would be all for it.
When I saw, they said no. They said they wasn't going
Yeah,
to
they
do it.
said that's right.
Yeah. When I was looking at, that's why I said we was talking about that yesterday too. We thought I like HN, but it's just I don't think they're going to let him go because they blatantly said no. But again, it's lying season, so you might be right.
Yeah. And then the last thing I was going to say is
game last year is what put a kill on that.
You say that again, brother?
I said what put the kibosh on me thinking the trade back was the winning the Chiefs game, because if we had the number 1 pick, we could fleece the Raiders or whoever wanted Mendoza. But that's just my thought.
My last point before I quit, and I know I'm going for a minute here, is I think that this idea came to me like right as everybody was talking this last round here. Is Bandit, if you could, I don't know if you could even do this, man, but if you could like find some knowledgeable fans from other teams to come on, and we could do like a mock draft. Like, and I'm not talking about 32 people. I'm talking about like just like 10 people, like the fans of the teams that have the top 10 picks. And we could do like a little mock draft, and I would be just curious to see how that goes. To be honest with you.
Okay,
I got you.
Put all y'all on the homework, man. Like, let's make it a group project. I'm with it. Y'all can find people, bring them on. Like, cause I mean, the more the merrier. We all know fans, so But yeah, hey, I'm with it, man. We got plenty of time to do one on here because I was actually thinking about that. I think I can import the live, and I was actually going to do that anyway. I was thinking about coming on here, and we actually have an episode where we just do a mock draft and kind of work it out, talk about it, and break it down like that. So I'm with it. But yeah, so hey, I'm gonna put all y'all on the scouting team. We all gonna get to work. Let's see who we can find, and if you can bring them on, let's knock them off one at a time. But I'm with that. I think that's a great idea. That'll be excellent. Hell yeah.
Well, we can go live on X too, bro. If you want to do that,
I can do that too. I can do that off of here. On here, if I go, because we're doing pre-recorded, but I can't go live. And if I do go live, I can go live up to 5 channels. So we could be right here recording and simultaneously on X, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all at the same time. So we're gonna get to that point. Might be certain events or like big, like I was certain stuff like during the draft or especially during the season. During the season, this don't really get crazy because I want to do a lot of previews and recaps. So yeah, and if we definitely can get some fans in here, to come in here, talk about it, we definitely can do that. But yeah, was everyone able to get a chance to get their rebuttal, speak their point, get their off?
I had some ideas there.
Okay, yeah, go with it, bro. Let's roll.
First off, I wanted to comment on some of the defensive guys at the top. I think I agree with RJ. I think Reese has a chance to be Vernon Golston all over again for the Jets. I think he could be like this athletic freak that does not pan out. And I'm a Buckeyes fan. That's not. I'm just trying to be unbiased. Bane, Titans Vaughn, you had mentioned the arms problem, and then Bailey. I mean, you're starting to hear he's kind of a one-trick pony. He's like not really super versatile from the edge position. I think somebody, it might have been RJ, brought up a good point. That Saul is a bit of a force multiplier on defense. He was working with peanuts last year and did like a really good job. I think our free agency is mostly defensive, and I think they got some really stellar parts. And we were 13th in sack last year with basically nobody. I mean, if we got JFM and people like that, and the corners are performing better, that's going to make the line perform better. I think that's important. I think there is edge depth in this draft and wide receiver depth. However, I don't think either compare to what Love offers there at the top. And Cam's priority number 1, for like bar none. And when you consider that, consider the solid impact, consider those kind of worries about some of those defensive guys, I think all that matters. And like somebody else said, the Browns exist. Teams like that exist. So if it is a trade down for a wide receiver, who would have thought that the Browns would have gave up what they gave up last year for Hunter? Like, who saw that coming? You know what I mean? So I think those are all important. I just think we've done so much on defense that I think they're setting up this draft to be very offensive focused.
Yeah, that's all I'm
That's good points.
Great points, brother. Great point.
Look, well, I think everything you all said can add to this last question. I'm gonna ask everybody, and we're gonna get out here. And then, like I said, if y'all want to stay around for the free fall, you're welcome to. If you got to go, I get it. But we definitely gonna move on and keep talking as much as y'all want. But I'm gonna ask y'all just one question, and we're gonna go in the same snake train, and do your thing, give your answer. But kind of adds to where we at, so I'm just gonna move out that caveat and keep it moving. But the question that I want to ask you all is, what does this roster need to do for you to feel good for when we get ready to head into this upcoming season? We'll start with you, RJ. So, what does this roster need to look like for you to feel good before the season starts?
Um, for me to feel good, obviously Jeremiah Love too. I would like to have an answer at future when it comes to receiver. I want to make sure that the offensive line has answers as well. I know we're missing a guard and we're missing a center, but I'm not going to panic because I know Baganzi has a plan. I'm sure he's probably going to draft a guard, and maybe I don't know what we're going to do at center. I'm just going to be real, but I know he's going to have some type of plan that's going to work. Um, as for like the rest of the roster, I mean, right now I'm not expecting us to make the playoffs. I'm not expecting us to even just win the 9 games. Like I'm at like 7 to I'm at probably about 5 to 8 wins right now. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to, for me to be where it's at, I just want to be able to go into a football game, at least have a chance to win the football game. It's not like we was last year. I knew we were going to lose. And the only way we would win is if they do some dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we just take advantage of like the Cardinals
Competitive
game.
losses mean something right now.
Yeah. Yeah, like like I don't need the Cardinals game where they just completely blowing it and just giving us a game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, that's about where I'm at right now, with the roster.
Okay. All right. Coach Murph can't stay out that playbook, man. I see you, man. You need to go call Dayball, man. Give him
Hey,
what you
listen. You know what I do, brother. You know what I do. But honestly, when it comes to this season and this roster, so I can feel okay, I personally feel like we can make some noise if we have certain things. I'm okay with the wide receiver position because I see what they're doing. I see what they're going to set up for when it comes to next year. But I would love Jawan Jennings on this team. That will make me feel a lot better about everything that's going on. I would love to get Brazel on this team somehow, some way, or Omar Cooper Jr., but Omar Cooper Jr. is not going to be there, so I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm more hopeful for Love than Cooper Jr. I will love, but if I can't get Love, I will be okay with getting Claiborne out of Wake Forest. He's a great speedy guy. That would be a nice little addition to the team. He can give us that juice. He will be there around the third or fourth round, so I'm okay with that. Without a shadow of a doubt, I know we're going to get a vet at the guard position. What vet? I don't know. I would love to get Bo Stevens out of Iowa. That would be the guard that I would target somehow, some way. Logan Jones at the center position to compete with those two that we have now, and I'll be copacetic with that. I love everything that we're doing on the defensive side of the ball. Of course, we would need to get an edge in there. There's a lot of edges that we can bring in. A young guy that would be cool. I'm fine with that. I would love to get Bobby Okereke in there at the middle linebacker position. If not, there's a whole bunch of middle linebackers that I would love to draft. I'm not going to name down all of them, but there's a whole bunch. What else? I believe it or not, bro, I want to get a kicker in here for the future, and no one's talking about that. I
Yeah.
understand why nobody's talking about that, but I would love to get an undrafted kicker or a late round kicker. I'm talking about the 7th. I wouldn't touch it in the 6th. What else? I like everything when it comes to this team. Our tight end position is really solid. No one's given David DMR any love. I love him to death. I had an argument on Twitter the other day about him. I love him. I think he could be really beneficial towards this team. That's my guy. I wanted to see him get more snaps. Other than that, I like the team. I like the roster, the way it's setting up now. I understand what they're trying to do with the gamesmanship. Just be patient, and I think everyone else will love it too.
All right. CJ2K, take us away.
Just for the season, I think it's about rebuilding the trust that we have in this team. I don't think we should just go in saying, "Oh, they're gonna be good," lose game. Oh, they're gonna be good again, lose a game. It's that trust you have to build with this team, and as it comes to the roster, we still have holes and things that need to be fixed on, and just hopefully we can fix them. I just think that winning helps, and winning builds culture, and culture brings fear into other fan bases, and that's all we could want for right now if everything works out. And I just hate the word if and when. Just show it to me, and everything is cool. That's all I could say.
All right, Ghost Titan. Like, how you? What would make you feel good come September?
I'm honestly, I was kind of on the wagon of loving the first, wide receiver in the second. That's kind of where I'm at. I believe in that Salah effect, especially now that he's calling plays. I don't care who that wide receiver is in the second. What's his name from Tennessee or
Oh, you talking about
Mark
Bravo?
Cooper? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, anyone with KC Concepcion, if he's there
Man,
early,
I
I would
love
take
Tennessee.
him. Man, that guy's a game changer. Um, I don't know. I'm tired of seeing this team just like, I mean, how many times have we said it? Like all that, like in hindsight, we say, "Oh, that guy was still there at that point when we drafted that other guy, or that guy was there at that point." Like I'm ready to be the proactive ones, not the reactive ones. You know what I mean? I think Borgonzi's the guy for that, and I'm excited to see what they do.
I'll say this though, now I'm gonna say I know a lot of people bringing up Brazzle, man. Look, I'm a Tennessee fan, so but Brazzle, man, I'll tell you, man, I seen him every week, man. I think he's getting very underrated in this draft, man. I would love to have. I think a 35 is a little too rich for him. I would love to trade back to like 40 or 45 and draft him. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he'll be there in the mid second rounds. I would love to trade back and get him, but man, I'm telling you, that's a receiver that we miss. I mean, he runs 4.3, 6.5, large case radius, solid hands, man, and he run every route in the route tree. And a lot of Tennessee receivers have gotten that rep that we don't run a bunch of routes. But this year, the hyper changed the offense around where the receivers run everything. And I've been telling people that Tennessee's gonna start putting out these receivers, kind of like I ain't gonna say like Ohio State, but like they're putting out receivers every year. And then I think he's going to be the first one that hits. You know. Mhm.
Yeah, so for me, man, I think Coach touched on some of this, but in order for me to feel better after the draft and when we get into preseason and we get into camp, I'd like to see us do something at linebacker. I like the Bobby coming in. That's something I've had my eye on, but we kind of forget like a little bit about James Williams. He really, I think, showed a lot of promise at the latter half of the year. He had good coaching on special teams with Bones Fossil, made some impact plays there. And, Salah's a fast and violent guy. And I think James kind of fits that mold a little bit. And I'm interested to see how he grows in the offseason and maybe how this new coaching staff and how Salah's mentality and coaching him goes into it. So that's a piece that, isn't necessarily proven, but I'd like to see where it goes. I do think we need to get added depth at linebacker. Middle linebacker is a big spot. So I really want to see them do something there, whether it be through the draft or obviously free agency as it winds down before the season. I think the guard situation is a big deal. I wouldn't mind seeing Kevin back. I just don't know if they're, maybe not matching up on money or Kevin's an older dude, so he's on the end of his career. But I do think he did some good things, and I think a really strong veteran presence on the offensive line is a big deal, especially when you have Jackson Slater, who is going to be competing for a position, and some other young dudes. I mean, I think having Kevin next to JC was a big deal last year because JC going through injury and growing in his career, trying to get better switching over to the right side. So I kind of like that. I'd like to see some veteran presence there. I think our wide receiver room could stand an addition. It's interesting to me, all of the mock drafts and kind of projecting, like Ghost said, we'd love to see that 1-2 punch and maybe get a receiver second. I'm actually really intrigued and have a bigger personal question mark around what Borgonzi is going to do with wide receiver in the draft, just because Io Manor, DK, Helm, all those guys in the fourth round last year. Restrepo, obviously on a futures contract with us. We're gonna have a young core, which is actually a good thing. But man, we have a lot of good options. I mean, these guys named off a bunch of them, and truthfully, if it was second round, trade back a little bit, third round, I would be thrilled to see most of those names you guys said in a Titan uniform next year, just with the promise that they could bring to playmaking ability in Dayball's offense. But in order for me to feel really good about it, I think we just need to address some of those issues. We've talked about all of them. I think most of us have seen them, but through free agency, I actually feel really solid about what the team did. I like what they did in the secondary. I love Kevin Winston. I think he's going to be a dog. I still love Hooker back there in the safety room. And, the cornerbacks needed a total revamp, and we got that. So I feel really good about that. And I do think that as the corners play better, like it was referenced, man, that's only going to help that line play better. And we've improved that line tremendously, in my opinion, already. So I don't think we're too far away from me looking at the roster and saying they did a great job. They're setting up for the future, for the now. And remember, Borgonzi's a draft and develop guy. That's what he has always preached. And it was really impressive to me to see him go spend the money, because we wanted to see what he was going to approach that in free agency. But I think what they're doing by bringing in these guys that have been coached in the past, and there's been a lot of them from our new coaches, is these guys are really talented dudes. They know their culture. They know their culture fits. They're bringing guys in that can teach other players the systems that they've already been playing in, and it speeds up that process for everybody. So I don't think there's a ton. I think we're going to do really good in the draft again.
Did he go out? Y'all,
Yeah,
You're
he's black.
right.
The screen's black on mine.
Yeah, he may come. But look, I want someone to read to y'all right quick. Anyway, I saw something, so I just seen an update. I mean, it's not necessarily the Titans related; it was NFL related. I'm looking at the time frame we've been recording, and maybe some of y'all might have missed it. But one of the things, we had a trade happen. So the Falcons received Sidney Brown, the defensive back from the Eagles, for a fourth and sixth round. Well, with a fourth and sixth, and they're also swapping. So the Eagles and the Falcons swapping fourth and sixth, but the Falcons received the Eagles defensive back Sidney Brown. And then I also saw that the Seahawks have exercised the fifth-year option on JSN and Devin Witherspoon, and the Panthers reached an agreement with former Rams outside linebacker Nick Hampton. Those things happened like within the last hour. Just for content, we all watch football, so that just happened. Let me bring him back up. There we go. Yeah, all right. Got you, man. Got you.
Yeah, sorry, I got kicked out, guys.
No, it's okay. I'm good. You want to finish where you at? Or you good? Or...
No, I'm good, man. I'm just excited about it. I think what Borgonzi's going to do is he's going to draft a solid second draft in a row. And I think we're going to see it on the field. And really the important part is that the guys that have already been here for a year in this system, in regards to the cultural system and what they know is expected of them, and the rookies from last year that want to grow, they're just going to help those guys elevate faster. So I'm excited to see what we do.
Okay. All right. Titanius X, what's going to make you feel good into the season?
Well, it made me feel good is Big Jeff getting extended, Skaronski getting extended, just the interior line, because I was thinking about it. We haven't seen the quarterback go to his second contract since McNair, so we really need to make sure that we don't ruin what we have in terms of what Cam Ward could be potentially. I love everything everybody's saying with regards to Karake and some of the different defensive options that could come on the team. Me, I just want to see things moving forward. I want to see, I really want to see some of the younger guys developing more. I love the fact that my guy brought up James Williams. That's another U player. So I really did like how he came in at the end of the year. So for me to feel solid about the season, I just feel like we need to bring back Zeitler, extend those guys, and do well in the draft. The free agency haul has been pretty good. I think everything is pointing in the right direction. I mean, we can split hairs about whatever player we want, as long as we can keep Cam Ward upright. We're just gonna have to run for his life every play. I think that good things will happen. So that's where I'm at with it. It's pretty simple take, but that's how I feel about the roster.
Okay. All right. Real Ice, take us home, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been listening to everybody else here, and RJ, you started us off, man, you with like the most negative, outlook possible, man. I was like, wow, all this, and you think 5 to 9 wins, like I just think that's
I
wild,
gotta
man.
be realistic, man. I can't just be like, we
I don't
going to
think
the
that's realistic.
playoffs, and then they don't do it. And I'm
What?
like, man, fire Salah. Like, no, I'm not gonna be like that. Not, look,
Well,
I got too hyped last year, man. I was like, yeah, we're gonna win 8 games, and then we went and win 1-3. You know what I'm saying?
Staying
I'm like,
grounded. He's staying
yeah,
grounded.
stay grounded. Stay
I'm
grounded.
not totally like surprised by a opinion like that because I mean, let's be honest, we're damaged as fans, man. We have been through like we thought we were gonna turn it around with the next GM, the next coach, the next GM, the next coach. Like we've been through this so many times. It's like people are talking about I got faith in Borgonzi, and he is doing all the right things. I love everything that man has done so far, but I just can't commit all my faith to him yet. Like I just need to see one more draft where like we do it right. And I think sometimes like we assume what he's gonna do, but we might have the positions right, like what positions we're gonna draft, but we might have it out of order or something like that. But I want to get into the meat of this. What would make me feel comfortable with our roster going into the season? I think it's if we just address the holes that we have, and I think we might have difference of opinion on what's the biggest hole, and I think that's probably where we derive our opinions on the draft from is what we think the biggest hole is. And I heard somebody say something about Casey Concepcion. He came up and he's a slot receiver. I mean, we've already got one Dale. He's got that covered. And then, we got a couple other guys, DK and Restrepo, who could play slot if we need to. So I just don't think that he has a place on this team like a guy like that. Receiver is like, there's really like two positions. You got slot receivers, and then you got outside receivers who can stretch the field. And, then I heard Jawan Jennings, and I, I'm not a Jawan Jennings hater. I just don't think that we need another number two receiver. Like, we've already got Ridley, who's like really like a two. Like I don't think he's a real number one. And then we got DK who's going to get some playing time. I have not forgot about Elick Ailmaner. I think that he might be good. We need to give him a shot under an offense that's run by Brian Dable. So I'm not saying that our wide receiver room is fixed. My number one hole is edge rusher. I think we need an edge rusher. I do not believe in Femi. I'll root for him until he's not wearing our uniform anymore. But I just don't believe in him. I'm sorry, I really don't. I just think he's a bust. And then like I was saying, I was watching Solo's tapes and things like that. Sometimes he puts three defensive ends on the field at one time. Like we only have like one Jermaine Jones right now. That's all I can see. Like, and so another thing, like and my third need is outside receiver. We need a guy who can stretch the field. Like we didn't get Alec Pierce. That was who I hoped we would get, but for the money he asked for, heck no. So, but we need a guy who can stretch the field, and that's where I want to get to the draft. There's a couple of guys that I hope we get in the draft. If we don't get anybody else, I hope we get Chris Brazel, and I don't know why that some people don't want him, like, or think he's going to fall uh, late in the second or maybe even third round. That's insane. I think that, like, last year, I think it was last year, maybe it was the year before. Xavier Worthy, he everybody thought he was going to be like second round pick, and he went in the first round because of his speed. I mean, Chris Brazel ran a 4.37 40, and he's 6'4", like almost 6'5". Like he's like a poor man's Randy Moss, and he played in the SEC and had really good numbers. Like he put 170 some yards and 3 touchdowns on Georgia. You know what I mean? Like this guy's not a joke, man. Like he, I don't. I mean,
I don't get it either, man. I'm a
yeah. I mean,
ball fan.
somebody said he's underrated, and I mean, truer words never been spoken. Like I don't. I'm sure that like David Boston, some of these other guys are good receivers. They would be just fine. But like for as disrespected in the draft projection as Chris Brazel is, like we got to snag him, man. He's a hometown guy. We got to get these Vols fans to buy season tickets. And so,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like there's different reasons for this, but I think he's going to be good too. I think like if nothing else, like I'm not saying he's a number 1, but if you put him out there, they're going to have to honor the deep ball, man. If he runs deep and Cam sees him one-on-one, throw that up, man. He's 6'4", you know, like
Yeah.
give him a chance, you know? Like
I
so
don't I don't think he's disrespected, bro. I think he's just overlooked because of the everybody that's in front of him. Like it's some names in front of him that can ball. So I
I
think
mean,
that's more so what it is. He's gonna play and he's gonna start for a lot of NFL teams. So I think NFL teams know this. It's
yeah.
just the names in front of them. That's what I think it is, bro.
And my
I
other
think it also has to do with Jalen Hyatt, man. I think a lot of people that when
Oh, they
they
hurting. They're hurting. Yeah.
yeah, like that Jalen Hyatt, but like I like my thing is with Jalen Hyatt. He right now on the Giants, he can't even get on the field, and it's like people think, oh, well, it's the Tennessee offense. He don't move it. Well, then Brazel comes around, and Brazel he was nice at Tulane before we got him. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? He was nice before we got him. He had 900 some yards at Tulane, and we picked him up, and he had an okay season his first year. Nico couldn't hit the backside of a barn, and then the next year. This year with Joey Aguilar, he balled out. He was the best. To me, I thought he was the best receiver in the SEC. I mean, you go look at the numbers compared to the rest of the SEC. He had the most yards, the most TDs, and he had only 60. He only had 60 receptions. You know what I'm saying? Doing it. So, and these are against SEC corners. Like he was seeing everybody number 1 every week. Everybody's coming to stop Brazel first. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get why he's getting the disrespect that he is. Like I said, he's 6'5", runs 200 pounds, to me,
maybe
200
maybe it
pounds.
is the depth. Maybe it is the depth. That makes
Yeah.
sense. So, my other guy, I got two guys, Brazel and Pat Coogan. I want to get Pat Coogan in the late rounds, man, because he is like he's talked about like as the most aware, like experienced offensive lineman, like the best, like he's like a coach on the field for the offensive line. And he played for Indiana. He did a really good job. But he's also getting disrespected. Like, I mean, he might not be as good all around as some guys, but like he did a damn good job. And like he's like so knowledgeable about the game. Like they talk about that as like his best attribute. And so I would like to get him as a project to work on, maybe work him into the center position in a year or two. But speaking about the center position, I don't remember who it was that's like really worried about it. I think maybe RJ, but I think Austin Schlottman is the plan, man. And I don't know why people are worried about the center position. Like I'm not saying we got like Linderbaum or anything like, but this guy didn't allow a single sack in 363 snaps last year. I mean that's not a full season, but that's a lot of snaps to not have a single sack allowed. So I think he's the plan. The position I'm worried about is right guard. I think maybe Slater can do it. I think that's why we got these other guys, these depth pieces, um, um, in case he doesn't work out, they can plug in some of these other guys and see if one of them do. I'm not too like confident about right guard though. I would like to see Ziegler resign, but you can't resign everybody. You can't get Bobby Okereke. You can't get Joey Bosa. You can't get all these guys and resign them. Like we've only got, I think it was like 43 million right now. Like after
I think
all
it's
these,
like 53
Yeah,
around there.
more than that. So
Like
I'm gonna ask you this question: Are you okay with going into the season with Slotman as a center and right guard being Jackson Slater? Say we didn't draft nobody. You know what
I'm
I'm saying?
I'm fine with Schlottman. I don't know about Slater though.
Okay.
I'd rather Jackson at the center position. Honestly, Jackson is he's 6'3", about 315 ish. I'd
I
rather
don't
put
know
him
about.
at center. I know he's
I don't
smart as
know
all
nothing
get out.
about Slotman. I'm just gonna be real. I ain't never heard nothing about him. I
Slotman
just
is Slotman is 6'5". He's extremely knowledgeable of the system in which he plays, which Dabo plays. He's extremely knowledgeable of it. I mean, he's a good six. He's a good six man. I wouldn't put him as a starter when it comes to it. Like I said before, I'll put Jackson at that center position because he can just as intelligent. And I'd rather go into the season with a right guard like Zeitler or a right guard from the draft. So I feel
No,
what y'all saying. I just rather have Austin on the bench teaching just in case because we don't have any backups more so. Corey leaving it was huge for us, as well as the cat that just went to the Cardinals too. Him, the swing tackle. We need a swing tackle now too. So the offensive line is a concern, but it's not a concern because I see the plan. Of course, I'm going to say I see the plan. The scouting me, but who's to say what's really going on in those rooms when it comes to scouting, when it comes to money wise, and all this other good stuff. So,
Well, I
But
trust.
guys
I,
got
tr-
a
I
plan,
trust.
man.
yeah,
I trust Dable to put it together. Like they made a few depth piece signings here, like
Yeah.
recently. I trust that he's gonna put it together, man. Dable's not gonna let this be like a problem. I don't think. And
Yeah.
you know, with all the other things we're doing, if we really do go out and get Love, I mean, if we keep all of our draft picks and Reese is gone and it's Sonny Styles or Jeremiah Love, I'm for Jeremiah Love. Like that's who I want. If we keep the pick and that's our two choices, that's who I want. I don't want Bain. I don't want Bailey. Definitely don't want Bailey. His teammate is almost as good as he is. I watched some film on that. And anyway, like somebody said something about DMR. I'm glad that somebody shouted out him, man, because I have been rooting for
boy,
him.
man.
I have been rooting for him the whole time, man. I think he deserves more reps. I don't understand. Like he plays good every time he gets a chance in preseason, and I'm like, man, he's gonna get some time, and then he never does. And James Williams, like he played safety, you know, in college, and I think that he fits the mold of what Saleh likes to do on defense. So I'm really curious to see how much he improves in Saleh's defense.
Would you
I think
change his position one more time, though, brother? Would you change it again to outside linebacker, or would you keep him in inside?
I'm not
It's a
sure.
tough question.
I'm not sure. I think probably with his safety history, like you know, he's probably better at coverage. So I would
Yeah.
probably leave him at middle.
Okay.
But you know, I don't know. I'm not sure about him as a pass rusher, like because that's what Salah likes to do. He likes to take those outside linebackers and put them up on the line, and sometimes they come. And you know, if you've got a guy like James Williams, he's probably not going to be coming too often. Like he's going to be dropping back. You want the quarterback to never know who's coming, and I think that's why I like Reese better than Sonny Styles. But he's not going to be there, I don't think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the Jets, it's confusing because I think the Jets might want Sonny. But that's a conversation for
They
another
might.
day.
Oh, I hope they do, man. I hope they do.
They might. They might. Titanius X, you was trying to say something?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's making good points. I'm having nightmares about Slotman versus the Texans D line. I just, man, I hear y'all and scheme and all. Dable's gonna coach him up. I hope so, man, because I don't want to go out there and lose so many unis. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm tired of losing them in the oil and stuff, bro. I can't do that no more, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
We gotta get one dub.
We had a Houston guy on with us yesterday. We was worried about him being in the car talking about the Titans. So yeah, we get it. I definitely get it.
I'm going to Houston.
Yeah. One more thing, guys. I got us winning 11 games next year.
Beautiful.
Whoa.
Hey.
Whoa. That's
hey.
you got.
I had 12-5. I can't even say nothing. I'm with you.
Hey, y'all got confidence, bro. I got to see it on the field, bro.
got
Maybe we the next Patriots, bro. You
If
never know.
Love
bro.
is drafted, I say if Love is drafted, I say 12-5, 11-6.
6 wins in the last 2 years, and you're gonna say we have 11?
Yes. With a coaching set,
I
think
say
about
that
all the games.
the coaching
that
is
we
way
won.
better than last year.
Exactly.
I think
Think
this
about all
goes
the
back
losses that we
to.
had. Go
I
ahead,
think
brother.
this goes back to us being damaged. Like I think everybody's like I think that everybody's thinking we got Brian Callahan right now. Like we don't. Like these guys are gone. It is all been
people
changed.
gonna get used right. That's one thing I see.
Hold on. Let me go to the schedule from last year. We didn't lose these games by crazy amount of scores.
We statistically had the hardest schedule last year.
Exactly.
Yeah, y'all gotta believe, man. Y'all gotta believe, man. And it's okay to be reserved for sure, because I think reservation is for any team. Not even if you just came off of the Seahawks should be reserved. You know, it doesn't matter. You should always have the hesitation because you have to consistently prove it. You know, every team goes into the season healthy, but they don't end that way. You know, and everything isn't always the way it is, and you have to constantly make adjustments and make moves around. So we have to understand that we're building something. No one's claimed that we built it yet. So in the process of that, you know, everything isn't a complete product. But, you know, we've made, you know, I don't know if if all of you were on here, maybe you all have heard this question, but I'm gonna ask it again. For those of you who may not, just to make sure everyone hears this. All right, so I'm gonna just ask y'all this one question. I'm gonna run it down, and then we're gonna wrap it up, and then we're gonna go into the free for all. But for one, we haven't we haven't even drafted anyone yet. But what I'm saying that to say is, if you just go back literally one calendar year to this day, that means we don't even have Cam Ward, none of the guys on this team yet, because the draft hasn't happened yet. So in one calendar year, we've had Cam Ward, Alec Ioman, and Chimere DK become a Pro Bowl. Jeffrey Simmons lead the D tackles in sacks. We've had so many things happen on one of the worst statistical teams that we've seen in the longest time with a zero coaching staff. We get our head coach fired. We got coaches who can't be competent enough to help anybody do anything. We give away all of our secondary, and yet and still, these guys find a way to self-improve for the second half of their bye. So with all of that happening last year, if I were to tell you right now, and if we were to have our current coaching staff at the end of August, right before we play Denver, do any of you all who haven't heard this question think that we would have still ended the season 3-13?
No, we wouldn't have.
And so if we could have did better with the worst team at this current position, why can't we do more with all of the moves we've made? So I can at least say, even without some of the holes we still filled, because even if we don't address the O-line the way people want to, if we do get some better position, like let's say we do get Love, let's say we do get Brazzle, and then maybe we, bring in, someone else post-June when they do the late cleaning up, then that means we've had so many solid positions at this point because Coach pointed out, if y'all want to do the research yourself, if you go look at who we will have as free agents at the end of this year, it's not really hurting us like we're losing major pieces. So we could go into next offseason with a major focus and major cash to go ahead and get a premium left tackle. We can get, nice depth, and maybe we can spend on good depth while we're trying to solidify higher positions on the offensive line and other holes that we haven't filled. He did say that it was a 2 to 3 year process. This is only year 2. And look at the progress we've made so far, and the draft hasn't even happened yet. So yes, there's a lot more to be proven. But just given all of the moves that we've made, given the state that we've been in the last 5 to 10 years, I think that there is room for enough optimism. Me personally, my prediction, I'm not going to put a number on it, but I mean, well, it kind of is a number, but I'll just say I think that we finish at least above 500 this year. That's my prediction. And I think that that's real. I mean, you look at how many teams have made that jump. You look at the Texans, you look at the Redskins, you look at the Patriots, you look at all these guys. Why can't we beat them? I mean, if you look at the teams that they had the year that they went, I can't say that this roster isn't too off from it, and we haven't even hit the draft yet. So I know that they know the same things we know, and no one's trying to get fired. And I think that they have to have, like you mentioned this earlier, RJ, but I think that they understand the coaching staff and on Borgonzi, they understand we need victory. We need momentum going into a $2.1 billion stadium. You're not going to sit here and go with all of these moves, all of this hype, all of this money, all of this draft value, and you telling me you can't even put above 500 team on the field for us to at least build some momentum going into this new stadium? We need to sell these tickets. We need to fill these seats. So, but I think that that's more of an internal thing that they're moving with based off of the moves they made. But if you look at it, like I said, just if you can sit here and say that our current coaching staff, we wouldn't have went 3-13 with last year's team, and then given all the moves we made at this point, there has to be a little bit more optimism than you're willing to admit. And I think we just got to give it time. Yes, we've been burnt, but I think the future's bright. We all feel it. Like we said, the energy's there. If we can keep doing our thing and they'll keep doing theirs, I think we'll be straight. Like CJ mentioned earlier, we got to do our jobs as fans, keep the energy high, cry in the closet, but when you come out, smile, make it look good, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my take on it. Anything anybody want to say before we wrap it up and knock this thing out the park?
Love Cowboys. Tighten up.
Tighten up. Oh, yes, sir. CJ, like I see you. I know when you got that mic, you're trying to talk. I know it.
But thank God we don't have Bo Hardegree as our QB play card, because throughout most of the season, I was screaming at the TV, literally cover your mouth with the play sheet. What are you doing? The defense can see you. The players are right there. They can see your mouth move. I'm so glad he's on the Raiders.
Yeah, yeah. That's
You know,
tough.
one thing I'll say about this upcoming season, I made this point on a fan talk that dropped, but just kind of reference, these are all really good points, but reference our special teams unit under Brian Callahan with Colt Anderson, and then follow it up with a competent coach who has experience in the NFL and understands how to coach up a unit. And we don't, you know, obviously we have DK that was an all-pro returner and at an all-pro Pro Bowl position. I mean, I don't think any of us would have saw that coming when we drafted DK.
Nope.
But look at what Bones was able to do with that unit year over year in just 1 year. And we didn't have some superstars on the special teams as a whole. He was able to bring competency, consistency, and a culture to that unit. And so I don't think it's outside of logic just to say that while, yes, we have followed the last 2 seasons, like CJ said, with 6 wins, and it is, you know, it's traumatic, man. Nobody wants to go through those two seasons back to back. But we're coming out of a completely different culture from a coaching staff between Brian Callahan, Nick Holes, Bo Hardigree, all of these coaches, you can say, even Denard, that had like zero experience in regards to their positions for the most part, leading from their positions. And, you know, obviously they came from different roles in the NFL. That's not what I mean. But now look at the staff that Salah's putting together, the decades of experience. And not only that, but the connectivity that these guys have with one another. That stuff will translate. And the fact that we had, just by chance, the toughest schedule in the entire NFL. That's not going to happen 2 years in a row. So what does that look like? Well, we don't know. But in logic, I think it very well trends at least into the position that we could have a significant turnaround in the win-loss column. And ultimately, it's up to the coaches and the players what that looks like. But I don't think it's outside of the question, especially given what we might draft and what we might go into this season looking like on our roster. Again, with competent coaching, and to CJ's point, we don't have to worry about that play caller anymore. We've got a guy that's been doing it for, 25 years, won a national championship at Alabama, did really well in Buffalo. And honestly, the Giants weren't a great team. We all know that, but I watched a lot of Giants, and their offense was at times, pretty good, and they also didn't have the best talent back there. So I'm excited for it, man, and I am hopeful. I don't know where it's going to land. I'm not going to put a prediction on it. I'm trying to be like RJ. I'm trying to stay grounded. I do that every year, but I am very hopeful that we're going to turn it around and really have a good product leading into that $2.1 billion house we're about to move into.
Yeah,
We've never had a staff with a former head coach at every coordinator position. I've never seen that for the Titans organization. So
I bet they're not playing rock, paper, scissors this offseason either.
and for whoever it matters to, bringing up the point that we had like the toughest schedule, I did see that a few months ago. I mean, currently right now, and I know whatever, but we have the 4th easiest schedule going into this season. So it is a complete turnaround for those that want to measure the strength of schedule. Just putting that out there because we're talking about it. So just want to counter with that last year we did have the toughest. This year, if we're going to go on that metric, we are slated to have the 4th easiest. So
that stuff don't matter until October, bro.
I knew you was going to be the one to say it.
You already know, cause we talked about it before, bro. It don't matter until October. Like, you really see how good the team is after a year, after a couple months of training camp, and they're meshing through the first a couple games in the season. You really don't. That drives me crazy. It drives me nuts. Because when we had it like the 4th or 3rd best last year when it comes to the easiest schedule going into the season, look how that turned out.
Yeah, everybody was good. I'm like, man.
Come on, man. We had a tough schedule last year. I believe like 7 to 8 of our guys, of the teams that we played went to the playoffs.
And we played both teams that went to the Super Bowl.
That's crazy. Crazy.
Both of them.
Oh, man. It drives me crazy. You got me PTSD right now. It's the military in me and it's that in me. That just drove me crazy. I love you, though, bro. Bandit, I love you, bro. You know I love you. Your family, bro.
I was looking at our last season schedule, and I see, like, if we had the coaching staff we have now, which is what Bandit brought up at the very beginning of this.
Yeah.
I think we have 5 or 6 wins that we didn't have. So I think 8-9 or 9-8 would have been our record last year. And we had you got to think about the holes that we've already filled, like the problems we've already fixed with the roster compared to last year. And I think the thing that we've improved the most, without question, is the cornerback position. Like that's really important. Like I think if that alone plus the coaching staff, I mean, at least 6 games we turned the other direction. 4 games we lost by 1 score or less.
Yep.
Yeah. So definitely. It just take a little bit to get over the hump. I'm gonna take us home, fellas. Y'all hang with me right after I cut this stream, and we're gonna figure out how we're gonna move. But appreciate y'all, man. All y'all, man. Thank you, really, man. Y'all real ones. I want to keep y'all in the rotation, man. All depending on how your schedule will go. Doesn't matter. Like I said, when I text you, it's flexible. I'm glad that y'all got a chance to come and see how it is, because I know y'all was trying to figure out how to join, how it's gonna work. But as you can see, just hanging out with your homies on Zoom, talking about the favorite team that we love. So we're gonna continue to do that and moving forward. But with that being said, I want to appreciate all of you all out there for watching us and tapping in and coming in and rocking out with us this evening. I want to thank you for watching and being a part of this journey. I'm really trying to build something special here, something real. I want a place where Titans fans can pull up, they can speak up, and they can really just chill and feel at home and talk about their favorite team. And I want you to do me a favor and help me get the word out so more of our two-tone family can join and have a chance to do the same, because everyone is welcome. And if you did enjoy this, I want you to do me a solid, like, share, subscribe, and follow. You can catch me on Twitter, IG, TikTok at the Two-Tone Bandit. Let me know how you feel down below. I'll be checking back soon. TTFU all day, baby. It's the Two-Tone Bandit. Tighten up. We out.